This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets!
Good morning, Nick. Cello. Hope you all have a good day. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, June. Good morning.
Happy Halloween, brother.
It's game day and we're not even that excited. But June, June, uh,
I'm
we
listening.
was we were speaking yesterday, not you and I, but it looks like the New York Jets are going to run it back. So,
That's a horrible thing to do. It's a horrible thing to do.
but I'm going to let you know, I'm going to let you and CB talk about this.
It's a horrible thing to do. Once again, you have to find a head coach who's gonna want to be willing to
No, I
give.
agree that. I agree with that 1,000%, bro. They're going to blow it up, but I don't think they're going to do it player wise. I just think they're going to do it the whole coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's cool, but these other people have to get paid. I just wouldn't do it, man. What's up, CB?
Chilling. Good morning. Good morning.
Did you happen to catch the Knicks game last night?
Nah, did you happen to see my Nets win? No. What up? What up? What we doing?
No, my bad, bro. My bad. I forgot you guys played last night. I never should have mentioned basketball.
Yeah, don't let Nets world be within spitting distance of your Knicks, man. You'll
Nah,
never hear the end of me.
I don't. Somehow I don't think that's possible, but that's fine.
Oh, it will be when y'all see that soft little kitty cat that y'all traded for, but we'll talk about that on another day. It's Jets day right now.
Speaking of soft, he dropped 44 and 12 last night. All right, you know what? I
Yeah,
don't, I don't even want to do
yeah.
that.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
look,
he'll have those performances, and then he'll have those
June,
performances where you looking
June.
for him.
I don't
Yes,
want to
sir.
bring up the other counterpart because I know you.
Right.
So
You're right.
I,
You're right. You're right. You're right.
so our other counterpart in New York lost last night, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. It was a fun. It was fun while it lasted. Look, it's
I
fun.
just don't understand though, real quick, CB. No disrespect. I know there's hashtags Jet Up, but Nets World. What world are they in?
But wait, PD, hold on. What Knicks tape is it? Is it
Yeah,
the VHS? What we doing? Like, what's the Knicks tape?
but Nick's tape is, it's like, it's original.
Nick's tape is what?
It's
Is what?
original.
It's old.
It's my
I gotta dust off the VCR to go get that thing, man.
but CD, cassette tapes is where it was at back in the day.
Oh shit!
CD
Yeah,
for
y'all need to upgrade to Nick's Blu-ray, Nick's
Wait,
DVD. Like, what we doing,
CB,
man?
for real. Have you ever played a cassette tape? For real, like I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I have.
All
I
right.
have. I'm not that young, PD.
No, I get it. It's funny, bro. In one of my closets, I still have a tape and everything. I still have a whole thing of cassettes.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to my brother the other day, and I was like, "Damn, I wish I had kept our old cassette player for real.
I
That
still
and our
got
old
it.
CD
The
player."
worst was June and CB when the tape got all, you had to use a pencil or you know,
Oh yeah, that shit was the worst. Had to wind that shit back.
No,
you hope that
but
the one part didn't skip. You know what I'm
but
saying?
but, but all you needed was that thing to record a DVD. Like it records, it takes from the tape and put it on the DVD. So all you had to do. Mm.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Nick's tape was relevant last time tapes were actually relevant. So I mean, hey,
Well, the Knicks have been relevant for the past couple of years, but anyway, CB, let's. What's are the Jets going to be at least somewhat relevant tonight or no?
shit, I don't know, brother. I think Garrett Wilson's gonna go off tonight.
Oh,
Fuck a Derek Stingley.
speaking of that, CB, I did it last night, and Joe just put you could just jump in, Joe. We're just talking. There's nobody really in yet. Joe and Garrett Wilson needs 400 and I believe 60 yards to become 13th all time on the Jets wide receiving list for all yards. I mean, that just shows that how bad we've been, man. It's embarrassing. And
that
I
that
love Garrett Wilson. That's not a shot at Garrett Wilson. It's just
that
he's got 2,000 and change. He'll have 3,000 yards over by the end of the year. And that's 13th all time in Jets history.
all that
It's
shows
crazy.
all that shows is that the lack of quarterback that we've had and the lack of wide receivers we've had. That's it.
Well,
That's
I'll tell
it.
you right now, if he stays a Jet, he'll be the all-time leading receiver, will he not?
Well, Joe, yeah, I believe it's Maynard with 11,000 and change. Yeah, it'll probably take him 8 years to do it, but he'll do it. I agree with you.
He won't be here for 8 years, Peter.
Well, that's because you don't want him here.
Hey, Buckeye, what's up, man?
June, you have to June, and I'm not
What's up, Drew?
whatever. I can come at you.
Come on, come on, come on.
I don't get it with this. You have to keep some of these guys. You do. You rather keep Sauce over Garrett?
I'd rather not keep neither one of them.
Okay, but you still need guys to build upon. Teams.
PD, can I jump in here real quick? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This is where me and June, like the brothers that we are, this is where we go
You
at
know,
it.
we always go at it. Come on. It's been a
Bro,
while.
how can you not want to keep Garrett Wilson? He's him. Like, I get
Look,
he started the season off pretty bad, and I was very critical of him. But, like, this dude has been coming on and being pretty much our number one receiver, despite going to get Devontae, despite having Brees Hall. Like,
okay.
this dude is him, man. Like, if he wants to stay, you have to keep him. Now, if he says, yo, I want to trade, cool, I understand where you're coming from with that. But, like,
Okay.
if he wants to be here and he's willing to get paid here, you got to keep him.
Okay, CB, let me ask you a question. Um, Last week he had a good game, right? Did he go up against the number one cornerback? Because I'm pretty sure that same cornerback who he went up against a few weeks ago was sticking Devontae. So that's the reason why he was doing his thing, because he couldn't get open against Gonzalez.
Hey, June, hold on real quick. Can I answer your question with a
Yes,
question?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Remember a couple days ago when I asked you to go watch the tape of that first matchup between him and Christian Gonzalez? Did you do that for me, sir?
I forgot about that. I
Okay,
will
so
admit
you
that.
know
I
what?
ain't gonna lie
Let's
to
table
you. I
that
ain't gonna
point
lie
then
to
real
you.
quick
Okay.
until we go
All
back
right.
and watch the
You know
tape.
what? You right. You right. But all right. So you know what? I'll leave that point alone. But I'll bring up another point. My point to you is he's gonna want what the going market is right now. Is that fair to say? He's gonna want somewhere around 20 years.
100%,
All
100%.
right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So with $28 million, do you see him as a $28 million wide receiver? I, I don't think so.
You know,
Do it. We can't hear him.
No, say it again to me. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, CB, we lost you.
No, I'm just saying, like, $8 million receiver, when you
Do you
factor in that the cap is going up every year and that eventually that deal looked like a steal, honestly.
do you see him as a $28 million wide receiver, regardless of the cap?
Yes,
Do you see him?
yes.
Yes.
In this market, absolutely
Yes.
yes.
To
I do.
me, a $28 million wide receiver is elite and will get open no matter who's sticking him.
All right. So June, let's do this real quick, and then Chris jump in. And good morning, everybody
Oh, my
else.
boy. What up, Chris?
Uh, so do you consider Christian Kirk a 20+ million wide
Hell,
receiver? No
hell no.
way.
Remember,
But the market
no, no,
dictated that
no,
because
no,
they
no,
had
no,
money.
no, no. The market didn't dictate that. That horrible ass GM in Jacksonville. He's the one that
What about
started
Brandon
everything
Ayuk,
with
Jim?
Kirk.
June?
And you know what? Not for nothing. Look what he's done since he got the money and he just got hurt. Like
But
this
but
whole season,
but
he
but
did
they get
nothing.
it. That's the point. They get it.
They get it, but it straps you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm giving it to an elite wide receiver who can get open no matter what. Somebody like Justin Jefferson. Somebody like
Right,
All
Tariq
right,
right,
Hill.
but
right. And
June,
and and that to June's point, right? Is Garrett Wilson
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson? No. Is
Oh, but
Garrett
Justin
Wilson
Jefferson's
No.
not 28. He's 35, isn't he?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter though.
Yes.
But still,
is Garrett Wilson Jamar Chase? No.
no, no, right?
Is Garrett Wilson Debo Samuel?
Uh,
No.
does he does he have a Joe Burrow though? Like, what are we doing here?
Uh, he got a Sam Darnold. And he's still doing
Well,
it.
wait, hold on, CB. To be fair, most Jeff fans, myself included, thought when Aaron Rodgers got
He
here
was
that
gonna he was gonna do all this.
Garrett Wilson
Right,
would elevate even
right.
more. And isn't Garrett well? I think he leads the NFL in third down
He
receptions
leads the
for
league.
first
He leads
downs.
the league in targets, and he's about. I think he's 21 more targets than the next receiver.
And his yards per catch are basically like handoffs.
Well, his yards per catch, I think, is 11 this
Plus,
year.
if I'm not mistaken, he got either 6 or 7 drop passes. Like, I mean, once again, is he good? Yes. Is he elite? No. I'm not giving him
So then, what do you do? But wait, what do you do
because
then? You let Garrett. But where are you going to find a guy like
listen.
this?
First of all, I'm repeat it again. I'm not allocating 30 million, $28 million to a wide receiver when I don't even know what the fuck my answer is at quarterback.
You know what? I got to be honest with you guys. This conversation, as great as it is, sucks so much because if this prick
Yeah.
makes fucking field goals, we're not even having this conversation.
That's a fact.
Man, stop trying to blame the kicker. The kicker ain't got shit to do with
Well,
this.
well,
That's
Let's be
bullshit.
honest
incorrect.
with
That's
y'all.
Yes, he
Bullshit.
No, no,
does.
kicker.
no, no. And I don't want nobody to
Kicker.
mute me. Let's be honest,
Kicker's
right?
protecting the kicker.
12. No, no, my bad. He ain't even got 12. Number 8 is the problem. Let's go back to last
Nah,
year,
he's not the
right? A lot
problem.
of y'all Jet fans kept saying, yo, I'm not doing nothing else till we sign Aaron Rodgers. All right, God forbid he got hurt 4 plays later, right? A lot of y'all kept praising Aaron Rodgers. When he come back, we're going to do this and that. Bro, maybe he's not the answer. You know why? Because I see a dilemma. You know what? Y'all remind me of the Ravens fan base, right? I'm going to be real with you, right? Can't nobody agree, right? You got some people saying, oh, let's run it back with Aaron Rodgers, right? Then you got some people saying, yo, fire Robert Sala. While some people saying they don't even think he was the problem, right? Hello?
Yeah.
What's that
I'm
noise?
listening. I don't want to cut you off.
All right. You feel me? Like, bro, at the end of the day, bro, y'all just need to ride the season out. Now, I know this PD space. I'm gonna be real with you, right? I love coming to y'all spaces, right? But that shit gets me upset when y'all saying, well, we shouldn't pay Garrett Wilson. We shouldn't pay Sauce Gardner. We should get rid of him. Like, bro, if
Well,
anything, that's y'all future. Because
but
for before
Yo,
Aaron Rodgers came, a lot of y'all was
look.
praising them motherfuckers, right or
but
wrong.
kicker,
Hello?
that's the same thing as your fan base saying they want to get rid of Harbaugh. Some people, come on,
Oh my
Hey, Kicker, let
God,
me
people are
PD!
going
ask
to
you a
Did you
do
just hear
that.
what
question.
I said
Hey,
before I
hey, hey
started?
Kicker.
I
Yes,
said this shit remind me of
Hey,
my
hey,
fan
hey, hey,
base.
hey,
Like,
Kicker, let me
right.
can't
ask you a
nobody
That's
question.
what
agree
Hey,
I'm
with
Kicker, let me
nothing.
ask
saying.
you a question. A couple
What's
years
up?
ago when y'all went to the playoffs and you didn't have Lamar Jackson, you guys didn't do nothing. You guys lost, right? You need a quarterback. So no matter what,
I
no matter who you
mean,
got on your team, wait,
hold on.
hold on. No matter who you got on your
What?
team, no wide receiver, tight end, whatever, you need a fucking quarterback. Even if you got a good running back, you need a quarterback because you don't have a quarterback, they're gonna
But at the
stack
end
the
of the day,
box.
when we lost that playoff game, bro, we could have won that playoff game if
That's
Tyler
cool.
Huntley would have did what he's supposed to
Listen,
do.
if once again you didn't have a quarterback, so you lost. This league is a
Bro, I
quarterback league,
listen.
man.
I get what you're saying, June, but you can't say we didn't have a quarterback, bro. Like Tyler Huntley played
He
decent,
played.
bro. It was
He,
just
he,
that he did
he-
that
there
dumbass
you
jump when he was
go.
supposed to go
No.
low.
There's no buts. He made a mistake. You need a
All
good
right, so I'm
quarterback.
saying, so how you? I'm saying, how you trying to compare that playoff team to your team? Y'all didn't even make it to the playoffs. What I'm
What I'm
telling you is, right?
the
Cause
only point
like
I'm making is that you
hold up
didn't have a
now. You know
quarterback
I
in the
always
playoffs.
listen to y'all, right? This shit like a soap opera, right? This shit like Bold and the Beautifuls. You feel me? Young and the Restless. You feel me? Like I don't know what episode we in. You feel me? But you got the little runoff shows and shit. You know I go to the other jet spaces, bro. A lot of people are saying they're done with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm trying to figure out, right? If y'all talking about Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, why ain't nobody talking about Aaron Rodgers, bro? Like at the end of the day, at the end of the season, right? Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson is y'all future. He was the future even before Aaron Rodgers came here. So how y'all just gonna say, oh well, fuck them. Let's go get some draft
No,
picks and
I
this
like, bro, like
have
Aaron Rodgers is the problem,
been.
bro. And y'all know that. Aaron Rodgers is the reason why Robert Sala got
listen.
fired, right? And I already know, bro, what's gonna be your next excuse? Oh, Joe Douglas gotta go. So guess what? If Joe Douglas go, you don't think he gonna clean house,
Listen,
bro?
that's
He gonna
what
clean
I
house.
want.
So you want
I
everybody
want
gone. You just want a
everybody
whole new
gone, bro.
team.
I want new GM, everybody. Aaron
You
Rodgers.
said,
I mean,
Chris, you
look,
and Jason.
I don't.
oh
I
yeah, and I
don't think
gotta say
Aaron
this too. I'm
Rodgers.
sorry, Petey, but I gotta say this. Hey, you Yankee fans, fuck
You
you.
know what?
Haha. Y'all,
You know
hey,
what?
y'all had y'all hopes up yesterday, huh?
Yeah, the dog don't like that kicker.
Uh, well, my bad,
Stop,
doggy, but
bro.
hey, doggy,
Stop.
Yankees
Kicker, when are you
lost.
gonna watch the Orioles
Stop,
in the World
bro.
Series? When's that gonna happen?
I don't know, bro. If I was born in the '80s, the late '80s, '70s, I might have would have saw one. But I was a late '80s baby.
So, oh yeah.
June, hold on 1 second, June. Chris, go ahead, and then Jason. Chris, you had your hand up before. What's up?
Morning, everybody. How you guys doing today?
morning, brother.
Good. I wish we could talk about the game tonight more, but
Nah,
it
well, I
sucks.
think that Petey, I think the Jets were playing last night in the fifth inning of that game. That's
Yeah, that
what it
shit
looked
was
like.
crazy. That's exactly what it looked like.
It despicable. This and the Yankees core and the manager combined. I've been telling people for months is not good enough to get it done. And last night was evidence of that. The manager and this core combined is just not good enough to get over the hump. It is
The
what it
ma-
is.
the manager should have been fired 2 years ago, man.
Yeah.
I got called.
Hey,
I
bro, let
got
me ask
called
you
a
a question real
fraud for
quick.
saying stuff like this,
Didn't
Chris.
Aaron Boone help y'all win y'all last
No,
No,
what
title?
the fuck? Are you kidding me, man?
No. Aaron Boone hit a walk off in 2000. What was it?
three.
2004, three. Okay, he
Damn, it
hit a
was
big
that
And real
as
long.
as a
Damn.
player.
and
He
and
did something really
Right, I
good.
I just
remember
have to
that.
address real quick. Kika calling out the Yankee fans. Respectfully, Kika, I think the Mets and the Orioles are in Game 7 of the Cancun series right now. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
Well, Chris, I will go
Well,
back at you. Regular season wins really don't count, but
Petey, I know I'm
we
just
put
messing.
we the Mets
I ain't even
embarrassed
got
the
nothing to say
Yankees in the
though.
regular
No,
That
season.
shit
no, I know.
crazy.
I had to clap back real quick. So
But look, hey Chris, I'm gonna tell you like I tell other Raven fans right now. I'm gonna put this in a football perspective, right? I'd rather lose in the playoffs than lose in the
What
championship when
type
it
of
really
bullshit
counts,
is
good
that?
That
brother.
is ridiculous,
That
man.
sounds crazy.
Bro, hold on. So y'all is Jet
Kicker,
fans,
I
right?
understand why
Would
you
Nah,
y'all
say
rather?
that because you're a Ravens
bro,
fan. So you're
nah,
like, I don't want to
nah.
make the Super
Nobody.
Bowl ever, ever. I
Nobody
don't want to
thinks
do
like
that with
that, bro.
Lamar. Lamar, just let's just lose in the first round. That's Lamar talking.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'd rather lose in the playoffs than the big
You,
game, bro. I mean, I mean,
you know,
I
that's exactly.
mean, we can ask
Hey,
Deshaun about. We can ask
Buckeye, you
Deshaun about
absolutely
that. I
right.
mean, he know
That's the
about that.
reason why he said that because he always losing in the playoffs. Anyway, so
Who?
Lamar.
um,
So
No, bro. No. Even if Lamar wasn't here, what I'm saying is right because you got to understand, right?
there's no
Of
understanding of
course, you
that.
want your team go to the Super Bowl, right? Now, there's no shots to
Come
the
on,
Bills, right? Now, let's
Yeah,
take
it
a trip
is.
back down to '95, right? All
Yeah,
right.
it is.
Hold on, no, because I'm being real. I want to get my point across. So, '91, they get to the Super Bowl, right? They lose. They probably like, all right, fuck it. We getting back again. We gonna win it this year, right? They fail. You know what? We gonna run it back this year again, right? But at the end of the day, bro, just keep going to the Super Bowl. Losing is like that's. I'd rather just lose in the playoffs, bro. Like to lose
nah,
the
bro.
big game,
Stop,
Listen,
bro.
man.
let me just say one thing: the Bills and with Marv Levy, they were a dynasty, and
Yep. I
everybody.
call it a
If you don't
dynasty.
agree with me on that, I'm
That was a
sorry. They
dynasty.
made it
Come
4 years in a row.
I agree. They was a
y'all.
dynasty, just a dynasty with no rings.
I
I
came
agree.
up hearing Kika say that I'd rather lose in the playoffs than the championship game.
No
Y'all
way,
can't.
Biz.
But no,
I
but
agree with
y'all
you.
can't tell me. No, y'all cannot tell me that those games 2010, 2011, when we lost in the championship game, didn't hurt worse than it did when we lost first or second round in the playoffs. I
No,
was
the 2010 loss. I was
I was
devastated after the
devastated.
Pittsburgh
Yeah,
game. The
yeah.
Colts
I
game.
mean, all
And Biz, we
losses is
should have. Wait,
devastating,
kick
but what
it.
I'm
Hold
saying
on.
is to lose the suit. Like you gotta think about it, right? Now, hear me out.
You don't
Last year we lost
understand,
the
really.
AFC Championship game, right, Pete? Imagine if the Ravens go to the Super Bowl this year and we lose, bro. Imagine how them fucking fans gonna feel.
Exactly.
So what?
Yeah,
You
it's like,
made it though. Like, yeah.
No,
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 no, no.
no,
I would
I
no,
rather.
would be
I
no,
don't care
pissed.
when.
no. I ain't gonna lie. I'm one of them
Right.
fans. I can't just say I made it. Mm-mm.
Kicker.
That don't
That's
even.
how it would have been for the
That's just
Jets.
like
I mean, we hadn't
that's
won a
just
Super Bowl in so long.
that's just like me saying,
Aren't in
well,
here. I
my
don't want to
team ain't win
yell.
the
It's
Super Bowl, but
freaking
guess what?
8
Lamar won the MVP.
in the
No,
morning.
bro,
Petey, with
no.
respect, you can't be a dynasty without winning, man. You have to win to be a dynasty.
Hey, Buckeye, I
Well,
think 4 in a row.
Four
You
losses
kind
in a
of
row is a different word. It's not dynasty, man.
We can't let this
I agree with
argument distract us all from the fact that Aaron Boone is actively stealing money from the New York Yankees as we speak.
yes,
listen, I'm gonna tell y'all
yes.
something, right? It's something about them earns in New York, right?
I
No,
I
he
know,
don't.
Petey.
Yeah, okay. All right. Hey, wait. I have a question for the room. Who would you rather have, Aaron Rodgers or Tyler Huntley? I'll wait.
Oh my God.
Oh, you trying to be funny, huh? See? You
You
know what
talking
I'm
about
saying?
Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley? Good morning,
I mean, I'm pretty
everybody.
Yeah.
sure everybody would
Good
take.
morning,
I'm
office.
pretty sure everybody would take Tyler Huntley. You know why? Because he elusive in that pocket. What about Aaron Rodgers? You know what? It's something about them earns. Earn Boone. Earn
Um,
Rodgers. Hello? What's up with the earns? Why they can't never get a W? Hello, Petey?
um,
Or would you rather Tyrod? You know what? Instead
I'm
of
here.
Aaron Rodgers and Tyler Huntley, give me Tyrod Taylor.
I'm gonna go watch Aaron Brock.
You know what? Yo, you know what? Give me Meek up here. What up, Meek?
And who y'all play tonight? Y'all play
Yep,
y'all play the Texans, right?
Yep.
Where the game at?
in
MetLife.
Where to
Jersey.
get up here?
It's at the bank.
Oh shit. Damn, for real.
Neutral site game.
Meek, go ahead.
Hey, see, y'all don't want my score prediction, you know?
No,
Meek,
save it.
please go.
I'm trying. Kick it hasn't stopped. All right. Good morning, PD, June, Buckeye, CB. What's good?
What's up,
What's
me?
up?
It's kind of funny that Kika. So I have two things. So Kika, don't start screaming after this. It's kind of funny that a guy like Kika, Ravens fan, would say he'd rather lose before the championship game.
I told you.
That was like a layup. I mean, and then he's gonna say you're a Cowboys fan. But it's pretty funny because he can't. His quarterback can't make it. But next question. Chris, what would you like Aaron Boone to do in the fifth inning yesterday? Catch the ball?
Meek, you don't think this is because of the whole fundamentals and accountability problem that they've had
You
for the last 6 years?
serious question though. You don't think they catch the ball every day?
Every time they're in a big game, they do the same thing. It's
So so
insanity.
so here's my question for you, Chris. And it's gonna be a little longer. What is Aaron Boone supposed to do about his
Pause.
good center fielder, MVP captain, dropping a routine fly
Meek,
ball?
that's not where
Hold
they
on.
lost the game.
Hold on. Yes, it is.
No,
Hold
it isn't.
just let me finish, and then I'll
Yeah.
be done. I'll drop down. I promise. So that your MVP,
No, you better stay up
you,
here because
you,
this. I'm not. Don't leave me
you,
on a hill with
No, let
Yankee
him drop
fans.
down like his
yep,
Cowboys
sounds
dropping down
good.
in his
Sounds good.
division.
MVP captain drops a lazy fly ball. Gold Glove shortstop throws one away. 4-time Gold Glove first baseman for whatever he did, and then your Cy Young pitcher forgets to cover first base. What is Aaron Boone supposed to do about that?
Boone should have chewed out Rizzo and Cole in the dugout for that. After
It's
that,
already over. What's that going to do?
you hold them accountable. I don't care what it does.
Who chews somebody out in an elimination? It's too late. You have to make the play. I mean, you can't blame
Meek,
the
is
manager.
is it Salah or Ulbricht's fault when there's consistency of penalties on a football field? Can he
Don't
stop?
don't compare.
No.
Oh, it's the same
Because
thing.
you're
It really
leaving no
is eerily
accountability.
similar.
Different
You're
sport.
you're leaving no
Meek, he's trying to
accountability
throw his buddy Joe
for
Douglas in here.
fundamentals
I'm kidding.
of Aaron Boone with the Yankees. Running to first base has been a problem for this team all year. They don't run to first base. And what was the compliments that were over and over to the Dodgers? Running to first base. Do we
Or
ever
or
have what
or the
Mookie
base
Betts
running
with
in
not covering?
general.
We lost because of defense, guys.
But Meek, it's deeper than
Listen,
that.
no, Buckeye?
Our
Can I
best
just
defenders
comment?
made errors.
I don't. Yeah, but Meek, you know how many base running blunders they
Yeah.
did, especially even in the
They had one. They had
postseason.
No,
one.
no, that's not true,
No,
Meek.
they had
We
That's
lost
not
no.
because
true,
of
Meek.
defense. We lost because of defense. And if you don't think they practice catching the ball and fielding routine ground balls, you're bugging.
Breaking news, y'all. Breaking news. The Yankees is
What,
looking at
man?
Robert Saleh as the new general
You
manager.
interrupted everybody for
Lord,
that
boy.
bullshit.
You know what? Yo, you know what? Yeah, that deserves not no response.
Hey, PD, at the end of the day, PD, I don't know why you talking, bro. You a Mets fan.
That's good.
They made it further.
You
That's
a
good.
Mets
The
Meek, what
fan
was the
too,
I know,
one
ain't you?
I
running
know, I
mistake
know,
in
I
your
know.
opinion?
Hold on.
Volpe?
Wait, 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 wait,
That
wait,
was
wait,
the
Yeah,
wait.
only running mistake you saw, Volpe?
in the World Series, yes.
Kicker, how many games did you win in the playoffs?
The same
Meek,
amount of
Meek
playoffs
Stanton was
y'all
thrown
had,
out by like a
playoff wins y'all
mile.
had in the last
Zero.
5 years.
Yeah, it's not a base running
None.
mistake. He got sent by the
But
coach.
look, you know
That's
what's
not a
funny
base
though?
running mistake?
It's so funny how
No.
y'all Yankee fans in here
I,
crying,
I
right? I'm gonna
don't
be
Wait,
real
understand
with
that.
y'all,
Ryan?
right?
Buckeye,
You
Rizzo was
listen,
on deck, bro. Stop acting foolish.
although y'all won game 4,
Can
I'm gonna
you
tell you
hear
when I
these
knew y'all
guys?
lost the
Wait, let
series, right?
Buckeye and Meek go.
Kicker, you
Kicker,
got to
Go
be in
real
the
ahead,
quick.
World
bro.
I want to
Series
hear
to be in
them.
this conversation. So come back in a couple of years. The Meek, they sending Stanton was the fundamental
Who was
right thing
on
to
deck?
do.
Who was on deck, Buckeye?
No, I don't. Well, that's a whole different problem. Don't get me started with the flaws
Yeah,
of the lineup.
there
Don't
you
get me
go.
started with that.
Rizzo can't hit.
Hey,
Oh
bro,
my
why Buckeye
God.
and Meek don't just start their own Yankee
I
space?
can't do it.
Hello? I'm trying to
Because
talk
you know
about the
what?
game
No,
tonight.
no. You know why? Because I allow different conversations in here, just like I allow different types of fans to bring up different
You
stuff.
know what? You
Because
right,
this is
good
my
brother. You
space,
right.
and you know what? I
You
welcome
right.
everybody in
Kicker,
here.
let's talk about the
Kicker,
See
you
you
Browns.
know
You're
you're
see
right.
see
welcome.
Let's talk
see
about the
see hey,
Browns.
hey, hey y'all at the bottom. Y'all see what's going on, right? See, when there's only 2 people with the control, we could talk about whatever. But when it's 3,
Stop,
mm,
stop, stop! Don't do that.
I
You're
was speaking numbers, bro.
yeah, all
Hello?
right.
Numbers.
That's a shot at Mark. Let's be real.
Oh, I
So
ain't say no
stop.
names. Just like when
Yeah,
I call out
come on,
Raven players, I
man.
don't say no name. Like that
Kicker,
boy 39, trash.
kicker. Let's be
See, I
real.
don't
Come
call out.
on.
That's why LeSean laughing. I don't call out names, bro.
Lee
I just call
Sean
out
is
numbers.
no, Lee Sean is on a delay. He's not even hearing what we're saying right now. He'll hear it 30 seconds later. Because if you're in the listener section on a Twitter space, you know what's up.
That's a fact.
Oh, how many are controlling the
So you
space
hear
right
it on
now?
delay.
Hey, Junior, yo, you
Yeah,
done
yeah,
over there
3.
crying, bro? It sound like you been crying all night, Junior. I know your
Don't do that to
Yankees
Mark, kicker.
lost. It's like, all right, all right.
Celebrating another team losing when your team's already on vacation is crazy.
Look,
Cancun.
look,
Yeah,
look,
and
kicker, you my man. I need you to cool out in the listening section right now because you talking my Yankees.
oh
That shit
man.
fresh right now. I'll bring you back up.
Wow.
I'll bring you
Imagine if
back.
all right, imagine if Mark did that. Imagine if Mark, shout out
No,
to
but he
Mark,
not.
June pulling his inner
But
Mark.
you know he know I love him, but I can't take this shit right now. Let's get back to the Jets real quick, man. We got a game tonight.
Yo, what's up,
Doesn't even feel
Rez?
like we have a
You
game.
coming up?
Feels like the preseason for real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really that feels like it's like a funeral. That's what it
I was
feel like.
I was gonna say the last 2 weeks I've been saying season starts today. You know,
Chris, do you think the Jets
I,
win
I
tonight?
actually do. That's the crazy thing.
They're gonna same old Jet. I actually think so too. I don't expect it, but everybody's gonna be in shock when they do it, and then there's gonna be fans that say, "Oh, they shouldn't have
PD,
Are they
won.
benching
We
Tyron
should just
Smith?
lose
PD,
out."
half the country is going to be shocked if they win the game, and the Jets fans are just gonna be like, we kind of expected this. Like, they kind of do everything that we don't expect them to do. So
24-21. The Jets kicker wins the game tonight.
Oh hell! Wait.
Well, it's not
You're right.
Zerline,
You're
Joe.
right.
So
It might. Yes, yeah. Office, you might be onto something. But guess what? Even if this kicker kicks 4 or 5 field goals tonight, Zerline's coming back.
Oh,
Now look,
absolutely.
can we all agree on this? This is the only bullshit team that will sit there
no,
and let him still be on a fucking roster. He's cost you 3 games. He's missed 6 field
June,
goals and 2 or 3 extra points. Why is he still on the fucking
June,
roster?
June. Honestly, I think they're doing the veteran thing. They're not going to release him. I think he doesn't play again this year, and I think next year they have an open kicker competition
But
in
Pete,
camp, and
June,
Petey, can I ask you a
Zerline's
different
still on the
question?
it's because Joe
roster.
Douglas has been on Indeed.com for the last 3 weeks in his office. He's not doing shit,
Petey, can
dog.
I ask you a different question?
Ah!
We
Yep.
drafted an incredibly high pick with a left tackle. We're watching a veteran wash left tackle in a season that is pretty much over. Why are we running it back with a veteran left tackle instead of developing the guy that we took with a premium pick?
I agree.
Like, what is the
I agree.
what? I don't understand with Tehran what we're watching anymore. Why are we watching him just to collect bonuses at this point? What is the benefit of this?
There isn't. They should play. They should play Fashanu. I
The
agree with
benefit
that.
is for him because each game, remember, he gets paid by the games that he play. That's the reason why. Not for nothing, I would think that he might be hurt, but because he want to get his money, he's still playing. It's fucking
It's
ridiculous, man.
ridiculous, man. And we'll go into next year not knowing what type of left tackle we have because we just punted his rookie year.
Yeah,
Well, you know what's hard about that too is you don't, like you said, sir. You want the drafted guy to get the reps, but you don't want him to get reps when the offense isn't playing good. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like yin and yang a little bit too, right? Like that's where, like you're saying, you want to get the guy in, but do you want him to get reps that don't end well? You know, like that's kind of like a
Yes.
slippery slope.
Office, here's my problem though, real
Go
quick.
ahead, sir.
My problem is that the Jets, good morning, man. Hope you're well.
I'm well.
I don't think, hear me. No, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, Fashanu. Play him now. So next year, because I think, and I don't care if I'm wrong, I think the Jets are going to run it back. I do. If Rodgers says he's coming back, there's no way Woody Johnson's going to turn that down. Everybody wants Woody to change. Jet fans want him to do this, that, and the other. He's not doing it. He'll listen to us and fire the coach. You know what I'm saying? And that shit, he needs to sell tickets. He's going to be embarrassed tonight with all the empty
Don't you
seats.
want the rookie
He's
getting
going
the
to bring him
reps?
back.
No, 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 no. Don't you want him to
Yes.
get the
And
reps
and
with the
and the,
quarterback that gets rid of the ball as fast as Aaron? Whatever you want to say about Rodgers, he's still one of the
yes,
fastest
Buckeye and that
releases in the NFL. So why not have him learn under that? Because
correct. And Buckeye, here's my problem. Next year, now you have a left tackle. Just say he doesn't play this year. I'm just saying. You're throwing him into the fire to develop next year. Let him get his kinks out
correct,
now while they're down. That's let him play.
and throw Malachi Corley on that football field.
say it again, Buckeye. Say it again.
I agree. You have to. I mean, you drafted him fucking third. Man, this is a shit show. It's a shit.
And give Braylon Allen some more carries. Let's see what he could do. Give him the ball.
You know what? I retract that too because, like you said, right? I mean, he's one of the biggest men on the field. There's no reason to be worried about that guy. You know what I mean? You're right, Pete. Like you're going in, bud.
Just give
You're
him, let
going
him.
in.
And listen, Whittle. You could jump in after I'm done. I'll be done quick. I I want Brees Hall on the team. Brees Hall leads the NFL in scrimmage yards in the last 3 weeks. He leads the NFL. And I'm sorry, Jeff fans want to get rid of him. He fucking leads the NFL and we're 0-3, which is worse.
Okay, so let me ask you a question at this point. With the talent of all these players that we have, and we can't win a game, what's more important, coaching or keeping these guys together right now? Okay,
Coaching.
wait, no, wait,
But
there's
go
no
ahead.
but. Now, coaching is right. Now,
Yes.
how are you getting this coach to come to this organization? CB just posted, potential places that will be looking for a head coaching job. You know, so why would a, like what what would make a coach want to come to New Jersey and coach the Jets with all the narratives, with all the media, the whole shit? Like, why?
Money.
Okay,
Money.
you say money. What?
Why did Robert Sala come here, June? Why did Robert Sala come? The Jets had everybody talks about these attractive pick and June. I'm not,
Come on,
this
come on,
is a
come on, come on. I already
passionate
know.
talk,
Come on,
but I am gonna start coming at you for
come
some of
on,
this
bro. I embrace it.
trading
Let's go.
everybody. Yeah, because people are saying that the Jets aren't. They had the second pick. They had the quarterback that they wanted. Everybody wanted Lawrence. Okay, he was the number one. They got their choice of who they wanted. It was the attractive job, a ton of salary cap. Yes, they were rebuilding. They had to bring everybody in. They played 2,000 and something snaps of rookies, and they were saying they were going to build it
Okay, now
up.
watch this.
And that's what they were supposed to
Okay,
do. And
okay.
they got the most
Wait,
attractive
wait, 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 wait,
defensive
wait, 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 wait,
coordinator.
wait, wait.
Go ahead.
Now you said that, right? Now, let's look at it. He got he got he was forced to fire his offensive coordinator. He got fired in the middle of a season. The owner meddled. Of course, everyone sees it because once that happened, It just went nationwide with that information. Oh, ask you
Well, then
again,
the Jets.
what would make
Go
a
ahead.
good head coach want to come to New York and coach the Jets?
The right offer. The right offer. That's what June, and this is where it gets like me. And I don't want to keep going on because I want to get everybody involved. But I mean, you're saying this. Oh, what coach? What coach? June, it's somebody is definitely going to take a head coaching job in the
Right.
NFL.
But I mean, of course, someone's gonna take it, but you need the right person. Otherwise, we keep going through the same fucking cycle that we keep doing.
That I agree with. So you know what? You go out of your realm, you do something different. Look, Woody finally changed the structure of the Jets where the head coach reports to the GM. Finally, he did it. Now, did it work? No,
And
it
you know
didn't.
why it didn't work?
But he because of
Oh,
him,
okay. So regardless,
because of
so,
Woody.
so so Woody can sit there and say, okay, this is the structure, and he still won't fucking go with it. Because number one, he fired the head coach. That wasn't Joe Douglas. So why would a GM and a head coach want to come here when you tell me it's one thing, but it's another?
Just like I said before, and I'll beat it to the bush. I'm sorry that somebody's coming here, and if you offer Vrabel or somebody the right money, I think they'll come. Now, if I'm wrong, we'll be back at this every day. So I'm good. June, let me get everybody
Right.
involved. All right. Who is it, Whittle or Hogs first? I believe it's Whittle.
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Jets Nation. Just wanted to
Yeah, what's up, Buffalo Hunter?
no, that's not me. I just wanted to come in and say, I hear you guys
June, handle this.
focusing a lot on the past, and let's look to the future, guys. Like today, this is a big game for you guys. It's time to make a statement. Um, the Jets can take the
Whittle, do
field.
you think the Jets are going to win tonight,
I'm,
Whittle?
I'm, I'm
Honestly,
hoping the
I know
Jets
you
win
want
tonight.
them to.
I'm hoping the Jets win tonight.
Yeah, because you don't have the tiebreaker against the
Right,
Texans.
exactly. I do think you can with Nico's not there, no Diggs. Mixon's going to be an issue, but I think with their depleted receivers, you guys can focus a little more effort on applying pressure at the line of scrimmage, and essentially make them have to spread it out and not focus on running the football, which I think will play in your favor. But I agree with what you're saying, PD. I don't think you should trade away everybody. I do think you should trade a few of these young guys though, or let it you can't keep them all, but
That's
whoever
fair.
comes in, they're gonna want some type of talent, and if you have a Garrett Wilson, a Sauce Gardner, a Quinnen Williams in the middle, regardless of what you guys think about Quinnen. That is attractive to a head coach coming in to take the job, because essentially you have the spine of the defense, outside of safety pretty much secured. You have quality at linebacker, you have quality on the defensive line, and you have a wide receiver to build around. You just got to go out and improve the line. You got some young backs with Braylon Allen and this kid Isaiah Davis. I wouldn't keep Brees Hall. I know Brees Hall is an all-purpose guy and he's doing a lot for you guys right now. But honestly, running backs are a dime a dozen, and Braylon Allen has been successful for you. You don't know exactly what Isaiah Davis can bring yet because he doesn't really play. You took two running backs. Why not use them? I would move off of Brees Hall and try to go up and solidify that offensive line. I don't know if drafting a quarterback right now is the right. I wouldn't draft a quarterback if I was coming in to be the Jets GM. I would focus on solidifying the trenches, getting a playmaker at safety, another wide receiver, and then I would bide my time to next season. I think you can go out and get a Tyrod Taylor can get you to the playoffs if you have everything else. And you don't know what Kirk Cousins' availability is going to be after this season. There are other quarterbacks that may be available. Jameis Winston may be available. There are guys that may be available that can come in and be a stopgap until you find the quarterback. But that the biggest hire for you, I think, would be the GM. Um,
Yep.
the GM is,
I
I
don't
think,
think
is
they're
the
moving
most
on from
important.
Rodgers though,
Yeah,
Whittle.
that's
Whittle,
fine.
I don't think.
You can't
Go ahead.
focus on trying to build this thing for Rodgers. You got like the next GM that
Correct.
comes in has to build this thing for the future. He needs to build it for Garrett and Sauce and Quinnen. Like those guys need to be um, surrounded by other talent. I think you got to go find a big defensive tackle that pushes Quinnen Williams to the three tech primarily. Like he's just the three tech, and on passing downs, maybe he slides over to the one, but most of the time he needs to only be playing three tech. Go get you a big run stopper. You got Will McDonald. You can go out and get another edge, a quality edge. Even though I like Braden McGregor and Eric Watts, I think those guys could develop into
They have
quality
Jermaine
guys off the
Johnson
edge,
too. Don't forget.
better than Michael Clemens. So I mean, the bones are there. It's just getting a GM that's gonna figure everything else out, and then the next coach that comes in, I would focus on it. I know you guys don't want a defensive guy. I would want a defensive guy when you're playing when you're going to see Tua and that Miami Dolphins offense, Drake May, and these weapons that they have in New England and in Buffalo, what Buffalo has. Like you're going to be facing some offensive firepower 6 out of your 6 games a year guaranteed. So I would focus on the defense. The defense will keep you in it, and then hopefully guys can just make plays until you go out and find that quarterback. I land there.
CB didn't
That's pretty
hard.
solid perspective.
CB,
Can you guys hear me? I lost
I
the
can hear you.
space.
I can hear you. CB.
Hello?
My fault. My fault. Now just real quick, man.
Can you guys hear me?
I listen. You can't build this thing around
I can hear
Rodgers
you, Petey.
anymore. Like Widow just said, he's 100% correct. I also feel like you know, listen, guys are locked in on getting the offensive guy. I don't necessarily think that's the way that they should be thinking about this. I think it should be, get the right leader for this organization, and then try and hire whoever you need to after that in terms of a good OC or whatever. This year more than anything has proven that this team needs leadership. Like not just an offensive guy who can scheme it up. And I get we do need that. I'm not trying to downplay the importance of that, but if you got a guy who has a clear vision for how he wants his football team to operate on a day-to-day basis, I'm talking the way they practice, because that's been a complaint under the Saleh era. The game planning, being able to adjust in game. I think those are the main things you need to focus on when looking for a head coach. And when you're looking for a GM, it's not just about acquiring talent, but it's about knowing when to move on from said talent or to be aggressive and go get other talent. So I think those are the main things you should be focusing on. And honestly, I'll stick with the plan of I think Mike Vrabel would actually be a good hire, even if you have to stick out this year with Rodgers, because he's got enough cachet in this business to say to Rodgers, yeah, well, you got your plan, but this is how I'm going to operate my team, and I need you to fall in line with this to a certain extent. Now, will Rodgers still have say over the offense? I'm sure he will. He'll have input, but you need somebody that's going to go, no, this is our game plan. This is what we're doing because this is specific to this matchup, and I need you to run it. Like point blank, period. But I'll land it there.
CB, I agree with you on
Now,
that.
now
Who
I
cares what
2000% agree with you on that. But we know Mike Vrabel is not coming to deal with that bullshit.
all right, let's see. I hope he does. That's my number one guy, to be fair.
It's been
I,
it's been
I,
my number one guy. Harv, what's going on, brother?
yeah, Harv,
Hey,
what's up?
morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
What's
What's
going
up?
on, man?
How you been? Everything good,
Oh yeah,
Harv?
fighting a little cold, but we'll make it through. Um,
Feel
I
better.
appreciate that. Looking, I heard someone maybe it was Whittle say we got to get rid of Brees Hall. I can't believe I just heard that. I'm honestly stunned. In addition,
He's not the only one though. He's an outside fan, and there's Jeff fans that want to
No,
get rid of
You got
him.
to listen to everything he said. He said running
yeah,
backs are a dime a dozen. That's a big piece of what he said.
yeah, but here,
Yeah.
but here's the thing though, guys. At the same time, so yes, money talks, right? And this whole Jet perception, it has to start to change from Woody from the top. But yes, money talks. But at the same time, if the money's the money, right, and Jets are offering more money, let's say for a really good GM candidate or a good head coaching candidate, he's going to want pieces there to work with as well. Brees Hall is a good piece. I mean,
Great point,
Peter,
Hogs.
you mentioned it yourself, right? He's the all-purpose yards. He's in the NFL for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, Hogs. He's first.
Yeah,
Like, what has the guy not done in
like
space? I know he needs to work on the running game, but the Jets' running game has been
the running
atrocious.
game's been atrocious. The O line blocking, running wise, has been atrocious at times. It has not been good. It has not been
Hogs, can I
clean.
ask a quick question before? Because I want you to go on, man, and I do, and I'm not trying to cut you off. But Brees Hall was averaging 5 yards a carry on Sunday against the Patriots. Give him the
Give him the ball.
ball.
And that now, listen, that's a whole nother conversation as well. I've heard different people say that it looks like that Downing's calling the play to Rogers, and Rogers is waving his hand off or waving it off and calling his own play. So you don't know what Downing is calling right now, play style wise, and is Rogers just not listening to him? And that's a whole other conversation to have as well, where you have to have that synergy between coordinators. You do, and they tried that with Hackett, and it went to shit. It just did. But you have to have playmakers to attract these guys as well to teams. You do, and Brace Hall, and Garrett Wilson, playmakers. They absolutely are. I understand Garrett had that bad drop against New England that went off his chest, turned into a pick. I get that, but these are playmakers. We can't keep on tearing everything down and then looking to trade these young, promising players, and then looking to draft more promising young players. We have these
Hark's a
guys in
different
place.
question. Hark's a different question because you can't take a losing team and run it back. So who are you not paying? I just am going to ask that question.
It's Gardner. It's Sauce.
Wait, can I ask a question here before we move on to the next person? On the
Yeah.
Brees Hall thing, how much are y'all paying him then? For everybody who wants to keep him, what are you paying him?
Good
900
question.
grand, dude. He only
Great.
makes
No,
$900,000,
No.
dude.
I'm talking about
no.
when his
He
contract is
means
up. What are
going
you paying
forward.
him?
That
Oh,
number's
sorry.
like 12 to 14. Isn't that what the numbers are?
Between 9 and 12. But Brees is going to Brees. If Brees hits the open market, not with the Jets, I think he'll get a Saquon Barkley contract
Yeah,
easily.
What?
Yes, 12
It's
million a
no,
Petey,
year.
Petey, I would let him go.
no, no.
I'm saying I'm not. I said, did you hear what I said though? And
Yes,
June, I'm
yes.
not saying this to. I'm not. I'm just saying if Brees hits the open market, he can get that. If the Jets extend him,
So
maybe they
what?
get away with a couple of mil here or
So
there.
So what would you
again, with
pay
all
him?
the needs on this
Like what he
team,
said.
you guys are comfortable to keep Brees Hall crowd.
Thank you.
It's comfortable paying him $12 million a year.
Thank you. CB gets it. CB
Well,
gets it.
CB. To be fair,
Back this year. Back this year. Yeah.
Jordan Mason because he has better
Okay.
coaching.
So the point is, and
Um,
this is where I agree with Whittle on this. Finding running backs is not that hard, man. It's not a very
no,
hard,
it's
and we
not.
may have already done it with Braylon Allen. We don't know
Yes.
enough, but like you can't worry about. So this is about worrying about running back is a commodity position. Kicker is a commodity position. Like these are things that you don't have to worry about losing commodity positions. And a
Hmm.
running back is a commodity position.
Okay,
And there's a few.
so
Christian McCaffrey's
Buckeye.
different. He's different. Derrick Henry's
Yep,
different. Those are different guys. Brees is
yep.
not that guy.
But Buckeye, here's my next question then, and then guys, you can jump in. And this is Hogs, Res, CB. Okay, so out of the four, you're picking two: Brees, Jermaine, Sauce, Garrett. So the sounds of it, Buckeye, you're keeping Garrett and Jermaine
I don't know
and
what
letting
Jermaine
Brees
is.
and
I don't know
Sauce
what
go.
Jermaine is after the injury. The only guy I'm
What?
locked in on is Garrett. That's the only guy I'm locked in
Okay,
on.
June, real quick.
And to
Just
be honest,
everybody answer
last
it
one,
quick.
Petey, the other guy that I'm on the fence
Yep.
with is AVT. I don't know what to do. I don't think I.
No, yeah. I wouldn't sign AVT long term because they already got his 5th-year
I don't
option
know if I
now,
would
and
just let him go to a different team either. Yeah, listen, but
If
oh, go ahead, Drew.
eh, no, I'm about to say if PD, if you asking me the same question you asked Buckeye, only person, and once again, my perspective might not be what popular, consensus is. I'm going to keep Jermaine, and that's it. Everybody else gets traded for draft capital. The more draft capital I can get, the more attractive it'll look towards the GM, more attractive it'll look towards the head coach. I need that. I need, because once again, if I got if these players are so fucking good and they're on my team right now and I'm paying them nothing and I can't win a game, now it's come time for me to pay him, and now I can't allocate money to situations of need.
but
But I'm losing with them
all right,
already.
but June to be all right. This is where I disagree because once you get older as an NFL player too, you can mature. And yes, they've been losing, but who's to say they can't turn it around?
3 years, going on 3 years of us
Yeah,
watching
and
this shit, and
three
they haven't
years
been
of
turning
shit
around.
coaching
Yeah,
too. It's the coaching
the
too.
You
guys, the
and it
coaching.
brings it back.
I'm sorry, June, but the coaching
No,
guys has
no,
been abysmal. Can we
right?
agree upon that?
No, 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 no. And
Yeah.
see, that's the key to what I'm saying. To get the right people in here, it has to be appealing. Like I said, CB just posted up on a jumbotron that the organizations who will be looking for head coaches. What's gonna make the Jet job more appealing?
Well,
Appealing.
well,
We
well,
got to
wait, but June, to be fair,
We
Jarek, 1 second, and then you come in. Just cut me off after this. Let's just say Dallas goes. Everybody thinks Dallas is going to choke, and I think they will too. But let's say Dallas wins 2 playoff games with McCarthy. They're going to bring him back. So there's Dallas out of the equation with Vrabel.
wait, wait,
So
wait,
where's
wait.
Vrabel going to go after
P-
that?
Petey, McCarthy is getting fired, and Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys by next year.
So if Dallas makes it to the NFC Championship, they're going to fire
Dallas is
McCarthy?
not making it to no.
PD,
I'm
can I
just
just take
saying,
30
you never
seconds to
know,
answer the
though.
question you asked before?
Yes, and I want to get Jarek in.
You can literally time me. It's Garrett and Sauce, and the reason it's Sauce before everybody rolls their eyes, who's done with him? How many picks do the Jets DBs have as a total? Go ahead, count them. It won't take you long.
What, 3?
Yep, two of
2?
those from Eccles.
Yep.
So don't we're talking about coaching, and again, I'll land here. Don't we believe that the Jets' lack of interceptions or Sauce's lack of interceptions is coaching? They're not taught to play the ball. They're taught to play the man. They're taught to play the hands. They're taught to make sure that you dislodge that ball. So again, for me personally, I've seen a guy who had 2 All-Pro seasons starting off his career. I want to see him with actual better defensive coaching because this is just a team that, hey, this is our system and we're just sticking with the system no matter what. So I want to see Sauce better coached.
and
Fair. Go ahead, Jarek.
that was kind of my point is we got to we don't want like for these coaches what scheme are they bringing in? Because again, we talk about Jermaine Johnson. I like Jermaine Johnson a lot, but let's say you bring in a coach that primarily coaches in a 3-4, where he wants bigger defensive ends to move on the inside, and he wants those stand-up pass rushers on the outside. Because Jermaine Johnson is an outside guy, right? Sauce. Like your defensive backs are taught differently compared to the coach that is going to be coming in, right? There's going to be different principles. There's going to be different sort of assignments. There's going to be different responsibilities that these defensive backs probably have never done that they're going to have to do now. So it's all. So you have to. So again, it's all dependent on what coach you bring, of whether or not a player may stay, or may a player leave. Where June's talking about, where like, hey, I could use this guy as trade value because this guy, he's a great player, but he doesn't fit what I want to do here. And so we can try to get some great value for this guy. And again, going back to what you guys were saying a little bit earlier with Brees Hall, I said this during the summer. I said that after the season you should trade for Brees Hall because this draft class, the strength of the draft class is running back. There's 12 running backs that you literally can find day 2, day 3 that I believe are, again, it's a gamble. You're gambling, but what we have found out is the running backs that get paid for, they're getting paid on contenders. Josh Jacobs, why did Green Bay? He got paid a lot of money. Green Bay's a contender. Philadelphia already had the best line in the league, had already had the top 3 line in the league.
They didn't mind giving Saquon Barkley that contract because Saquon's never ran. He's never ran behind a great line before. So can you imagine him in a contender, especially where they weren't missing a lot of huge pieces? Yeah,
And in
you
an
can afford to pay him.
RPO offense too, uh,
Right,
Jarek, in an RPO offense.
right. And
Wait,
so,
Jarek, 1
yeah, go
second.
ahead.
Buckeye and June. I got to step away at 9 o'clock for a few,
Yeah, no
so
problem, Petey.
I'll be
No
back
problem.
on. You guys
Yep.
good? Because
Yeah,
and then I got somebody coming on at 9:30 too. All right.
yeah,
Thanks, guys.
yeah.
Sorry about that, Jarek.
No, I was just saying. So, like, paying a running back that around 12, $14 million, which he's going to value because he's going to finish back-to-back years in top 5 in all-purpose yards on a team that's rebuilding does not make sense. You draft it like you can easily find a running back where the strength of the class is running back, like Quinshawn Jenkins, a Travion Henderson. You can find a Kyle Manaji. You can find a Marion Hampton. There's a lot of dudes that easily. Not gonna say it's gonna replicate the production, but can still be productive players. So yeah, Garrett Wilson, number one receiver quality, not easy to find. Sauce Gardner as a top corner in this league of what he does is not easy to find. But there are other positions based off of the strength of the class and what free agency where you can easily try to find players that can still be extremely productive.
That was my bad. Sorry about that. Jarek, where's Genty projected right now in the draft?
He should be the #1 running back
Yeah,
coming up.
he's gonna be the number one running back. He's gonna go in the first round. I don't think he should go in the first round. I don't think that it's a huge gap from RB1 and RB2. I do not think it's a huge gap between him and Johnson.
Really?
I don't.
Wow.
I think Caleb Johnson from Iowa, 6'2", 230 pounds, who's just as fast as Genty, who's just as good, if not a better pass blocker, who's agile, who's a very, very elusive, shifty. I do not think that they're both great running backs, but then you have Hampton, you have Todd Brooks, you have Manaji. It's like this. The strength of the class is running back. It's insane how good these running backs are.
Ashton Genty's gonna be a top 15 pick, and he's a special player.
Yeah, he's definitely special.
He's great. He's
Barring,
phenomenal.
barring, barring major injury, he's gonna be a top 15 pick, and he's a special
Yeah,
player.
he's going to Dallas. I have no. If I did, I'm 100% confident he's gonna be picked by the Dallas Cowboys. But do I think that it's a huge gap between him and RB2,
But
which is Johnson? No.
Is Dallas gonna have the top 15 pick?
I believe they will. I don't think they're making it to the playoffs. Uh,
No, no.
Damn.
I think 7-8 wins is where they're going to be at.
AP, they're not making it to the playoffs.
The NFC. I still believe that there's at least one team from each conference that are going to make it at 9 and 8.
Well, the problem is
Petey
the
can't
NFC.
say
The NFC is too stacked. They're too stacked.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They were in this
Guys, if
conference.
you
Yeah.
want to come up and speak, I know the Jets are playing the Texans tonight, but does this change anybody's view on the Jets if they win tonight? To me, it's I can't believe I'm not even excited about a game. It's just not hitting the same today.
Hey, PD, bro, please don't start this shit, cause this is what you said last year before we played y'all, and then when y'all
And then
won,
yeah, and then we
won,
won 30-6.
and then
Yeah, I
then you
remember,
talked all
Leo.
kind of shit. So I don't want to hear you say that you don't give a damn.
No,
So
no, no. I hold on. I want the Jets to win. I'm not rooting for the Jets to lose. So make sure everybody hears that, Leo. I am not rooting for the Jets to lose. So you heard it first here.
Could it be an argument though that it's a win-win because the more that you lose, the more you're just gonna get a higher draft pick. But the more you win, potentially, that could still, because technically the season's not over.
Right, right.
Well, Mr. Rogers and them believe that there's plenty of football season left. So should I believe the players or should I be a fan and just say tank? Because I'm not going to tank. And there's no way to play.
You in the blender.
You think Aaron Rodgers is just going to say F it during the year?
Well, no, he
No way.
they're not. I mean, you can't take you cannot tank in football. It's too physical. Like no, like that's how you get hurt is by trying to obviously play down is obviously doing that type of crap. So the players are not going to tank, but as a fan, you can definitely be in tank mode. If you can definitely be in that mindset of tank mode of saying, man, this is a win-win, man.
Yes.
Like, the more we
Yes. A
lose,
fan.
Shador Sanders, here we come.
Yeah, but Jarek, to be fair, and then Office just jump in. Like I don't. Fans can say they want to tank, and that's fine. That's their way of fanning. I fan differently, and that's cool. I'm not going to question Jarek the way you fan for the Bills. You don't. You don't talk as much crap as some other Bills fans, but those other Bill fans know probably just as much as you. I don't care about that. It's just for me. I'm not going to root for a loss. It's not what I do. But go ahead, Office.
Thanks, Petey. Yeah, I'm kind of with
Yep.
Jarek on that one per se. You know what I mean? Like it's a difficult situation, but with the
Can you
right
bring me
thought and the right
back up? I can't hear.
You
the
can't hear Office? Oh, go ahead.
you can't
Go
hear
ahead,
me, sir?
Office. Yeah, we
Okay.
got you.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Jarek on that one too, right? Like because I was just looking at this, man, and it says here, as of June 13th, running backs across the NFL have an average salary of 1.797 million, right? Running backs rank 17th of the 20 positions listed on Sport Track, including offense, defense, and special teams, ahead of only fullbacks, punters, and long snappers in terms of average salary. And I feel like if even if you're losing, you kind of are winning, but that's a lot to consider for the Jets because I feel like if you get a new running back, kind of like Jarek mentioned, you're still going to have to go back to what June's been also saying, where you're going to need to match the quarterback with him. But it's been fun listening to y'all this morning, and I appreciate y'all giving me a couple seconds.
Always Office. Office, are you going to the office?
I am. I got to go get the payroll done, man, so these guys can get their paychecks tomorrow.
Have a
And
good
then
day,
I'm going to
man.
kind of sneak out and just kind of go be a dude for the day.
Have a
I
good
got a
one,
lot to
bro.
get
Hey,
done. Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. I hope y'all win
We ain't
tonight.
heard from you. Thanks. Rez, we ain't heard from you, and then Leo. Unless you don't want to talk, Rez, you're good, but you're up here. Might as well get your words in. If not, Leo, jump in. All right, Leo.
y'all got any injuries today? Like anyone not playing?
Yeah, there's a lot out. C.J. Mosley, Alan Lazard, the kicker's out. Well, I mean, I don't think anybody's upset that Zerline's not playing, and most fans probably think that the Jets are just IR'd him, and he doesn't have. It's a mysterious injury. Who else is out? Oh, Tony
Elijah
Adams
Vera
is out.
Tucker.
And Chuck Clark. So we got a lot of injuries. You guys do too, Leo. June
AVT
and Buckeye. I'm stepping away for a few. Go ahead.
AVT been out though,
Got
huh?
you, Petey.
This is his second game out.
You asked about the injuries, so we told you the injuries.
I just asked the question. He been out. Like has he been playing this year?
He's been
Yeah,
out the
but
last two.
this is
All right. Well,
two.
thank you. Jesus Christ, it's testy. It's testy in New York, man.
Man, it always is, bro.
And I love the smoke, Pete. You know that?
Oh yeah,
Oh, you know I
I
love
got
the
to step
smoke.
away though. So I mean, the smoke is cool once in a while. Terrence, go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, so you know, the heartache has basically hit so hard that I haven't really paid attention to the fact that we're playing tonight. So I'll be obviously be watching. Uh, I mean, I know Houston has some injuries. I think, and now I can't think of the man's name, uh, the wide
Stephon
receiver.
Diggs. Stephon Diggs.
Sorry, boss.
Diggs, right?
Yeah, not only Diggs, but their other guy on the other side from
Nico
Collins.
Michigan.
Collins, sir.
Collins.
Nico.
Yeah, Miko Collins. That's it. Yeah. So I mean, and ever since Nico has been out, Stroud hasn't really been as good as he was earlier in the year. So, I mean, I agree with you, Pete. What we see this year, we would have saw last year with Rodgers and the team itself had Rodgers not been injured. But but now, I mean, I don't know if I would call it in tank mode, but I mean, I don't know how this team all of a sudden picks it up. But that's what happens with this team, like they lose like 6, 7 in a row. And then like in December, when everybody's like, oh yeah, tank, 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 or whatever, then all of a sudden they pull off a couple of victories. So, like it's out of my control. I don't worry about that. But to me, let's see what happens tonight. I'm going to root for my team. That's all I can do. It's it's out of my control. I definitely do want to know. I definitely do want to find out what we do before what is it? Is it Tuesday's trade deadline? Because I think like Williams and maybe even Reed in terms of their contracts just being 1 year deals, and I know the draft capital won't be that much, but like to me, I don't want to trade away any of our 2022 guys right now, because I do believe a different coach can get the most out of these guys still. And we have one more year before we have to talk about their continuing their contracts or not extending them for a fifth year and then franchising them. So so let's see what happens next year. But ultimately, to me, this owner has not allowed Joe Douglas to be a real GM, and and take for whatever it's worth. I'm in the camp now. I was kind of like Buckeyes VP in terms of keep Joe Douglas a little bit, but to me, I think you just got a clean house right now. My concern is that I don't know what quality GM or head coach, and I know there's only 32 of these positions available, but if we have a wish list of certain GMs or head coaching candidates, I don't know which one of them is going to choose the Jets above any other potential opening. Because to me, as much as I hate to say it as a fan, this is not one of the premier coaching or franchises that somebody wants to come to. And that's what my concern would be going forward. Hopefully when that time comes, we make the right choices in terms of a GM and head coach combo. And I think as Jet fans do, we'll be excited about it. We'll have the braggioso, and we'll be bothering the Bills fans again next year, and they're going to tell us to go away, and because they're king of the hill right now. And but until I see a hungry team, a young team that's like fighting these guys instead of this, what we've seen for the 3 or 4 years under Salah, basically sliding in November and December, I'm just really at a low moment right now, and the only thing that can save us is a new regime that hopefully has a different attitude and a mentality, and also Woody Johnson will allow these guys to make the right moves instead of these moves that we've been doing the last couple of years, just to get fan attention. But basically, it's like candy corn. You feel good, but then you throw up the next day.
Thanks, Terrence.
See, look, it's the same thing as I said, bro. Like, why would a good GM or coach take this job? You just can't save money. Some people actually want to win and succeed at their job.
There's still 32 teams.
Yep.
There's still 32 teams. And again, there's guys out there. I don't know who those guys that'll take. I agree with you. Woody's a hindrance. I know I'm going to
Yes.
be. I'll be honest. I'm on an island by myself on this. I still wouldn't be so quick to rid of Joe. I really wouldn't. I just feel like I don't until I know what the replacement is and what that person is. I wouldn't get rid of the guy that came from the Eagles and the Ravens. I just wouldn't be. so quick to dispose because
Do
I'm
you
still seeing
feel,
talent on a football
Buckeye?
field.
Do you feel, Buckeye, that Joe Douglas has free reign to make the decisions that he
No,
wants to?
definitely not.
So, I
Definitely not. I
mean,
don't think Aaron Rodgers was his decision. I
right.
don't think Hackett was his decision. I don't think a lot of this, but again, he's not gonna not catch the blame. The title catches the responsibility, but no, I don't think this was his plan. He
Yeah,
missed on Zach
I
Wilson.
agree with you, and I think he does know talent, but I also think that he has this. I don't know. I think he does know. I think he has this idea of athleticism that they keep drafting, but whether it's the head coach not turning these guys into football players or the fact that they don't have football IQ, that's the thing that that concerns me about some of his drafts.
Terrence,
But
here's the
I
thing
agree with you.
that we're watching live, right? So like everyone's job is on the line, right? Salah's job is on the line. Ulbricht's maybe ever being a head coach ever again, or I don't know what his fate is going to be. Joe Douglas. You're telling me all these guys are like run Zerline back, run Zerline. I don't believe it. I don't believe all these guys whose their entire careers and futures have been getting destroyed by a kicker. I don't think they decided, you know what? My career's on Zerline. So I do think Woody's so involved in this thing, it's not even funny. And I think that ties to what June's saying. Who's going to accept this? Only because there's only so many jobs. It's not the right way to do it. But until Woody does what Dolan did, which is step the hell back and let professionals do professional things, it's going to be more of the same. It's just going to be more of the same. But this Zerline thing is a human experiment of what I'm watching. And I think this is completely Woody. I paid him. I'm tired of you guys losing my money. I'm
Yep,
not paying for a new kicker. Run it back.
yep, yep.
Wasn't Joe Douglas's contract more of an outlier GM type of contract?
Yeah,
Like,
6 years.
And the
6 years.
and the crazy
see,
part is
that's what concerns me.
the
Why
crazy
is
part.
it not similar to everybody else's? I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. No, I was just saying the crazy part is you could have just drafted Will Reichard in the fifth round, in the fifth of the sixth. He was available. Best
Yes.
Right.
kicker of all time. Best kicker in college football. Can make the 60-yard kick accurate. And you could have. I mean, if he failed, then it's okay. It's a sixth-round pick. It's not worried about. There's no risk.
But
You could
we
have just
had a
took him.
guy in preseason that outkicked Zerline. Like we had a guy on our roster in preseason that outkicked Zerline. And
Yes.
again, I'm not even mad that they carried Zerline through preseason, but it was really clear at that Bills game. It was really clear, and the Broncos game, right? So like we didn't have to keep running this back, and we did. And I just can't believe with everyone's job on the line, they basically said, "Fuck it, let's the kicker I trust." I don't believe that.
Me, I don't. Like I said, man, the coaching candidate is gonna have to be somebody who don't have any options. That and it's gonna be the same cycle all over again. Because you're not getting the best guy, you're only getting the guy who has the least amount of options.
You got my man Leo, I think, with his hand up for run game.
Yeah, man, y'all talking like y'all season's over, man. Y'all got a game tonight. Um, but I respect it for sure. You know, nah, but I was just gonna talk about what Tan said about Stroud. Like, I think so the thing about Nico is like he's such an explosive player. You know what I'm saying? And that basically we've had offensive line issues the whole year. And but Nico being so explosive, you know what I'm saying? Like we was able to still get some big plays despite it. And he was getting open a lot, you know what I mean, quickly. So there was that, and then also like the off schedule plays that he would make because of the pressure that we were giving up. I mean, it's kind of been irreplaceable, and the line has been so bad that like even when Stephon Diggs was in, like Stephon Diggs was really having a decently productive year. His yards per catch were down, but I figured that would kind of happen anyway because he played in the slot more than he has ever his career here. You know what I'm saying? And I think when he got hurt, he was like right hovering around top 5 in the NFL in receptions when he got hurt. And really, last game that he got hurt was his best game as a Texan. But so man, like Nico Collins going out has basically kind of, I guess, exacerbated the offensive line issue. I don't really think Stroud has really played any worse, but I think we like, bro. I mean, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, bro, like, uh, bro, our line has been one of the worst in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Particularly like the interior, and I think it's. I mean, I can't say that it's because they just physically can't hold up all the time. Like, bro, like the Packers ran stunts all game against us, man, and we gave up like it was a crazy pressure rate. It was like, a high pressure rate is around 40s, bro. I think we gave up almost like a 70%, pressure rate on like 70% of his dropbacks. So, I mean, that's that. It's funny that we have become like a really like a running team, despite what people thought we would be. Um, because our offensive line has really been that bad. So I think like Nico coming back is like really bigger than us losing Stephon Diggs to me, because at this point he still gives you like that deep threat in the play action game. And I think that if we could fix this offensive line issues, like, I honestly would rather us trade for a guard than a receiver. And I mean, crazy as it is, I mean, shit, Mixon has basically ran for like 100 yards every time he's played a full game this year. So, I mean, we're really running the football decently well, despite the offensive line. So I mean, like that's kind of how we play. So yeah. I mean, Nico. I don't want to say like Stroud. Like if you look at the numbers, Stroud has been different. But like I mean, bro, like and it's crazy. Last year we was playing with backup O linemen, and bro, I mean, it's crazy to say this shit, and I think Texan fans would be mad that I say this shit. But like, bro, honestly, them backup O linemen, bro, played better than these guys. You know what I mean? So,
So wait, let me ask you a question.
yeah.
Would you say is Nico injury prone?
I mean, I don't know why you asking me that, June. I don't know what you want. Like, what's the point of that? I mean,
No, 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 no. I'm asking you. I'm just asking you a question because
so
I
no,
don't
no,
know
no,
him
no, no.
like
I
that.
mean, I don't like to label players that. This is his. So he's been. I think this is fourth year in the league, right? Well, no, this is his.
Okay.
No, this is third year in the league because we signed him
Yes.
early. So his
Okay.
first year, he missed. Like, I think his first year, they really, really were cautious with a lot of young players, right? Because I mean, I don't want to say we was tanking, but we obviously was like one of the least talented teams in the NFL, right? Like the year that
Right.
Davis Mills started, right? I think that was the
Right.
year that we had David Culley and Tyrod Taylor and shit, and like,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So
Okay. I
the
know.
year that
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson sat out with us, right? I think they shut
Yes.
him down early. They shut down Stingley like at like literally the half point a year over like a fucking hamstring. Like literally, bro, Laramie Tunsil sat out that year like 10 games over like a fucking like sprained pinky or some stupid ass shit. So I don't. And then the next year after that, the next year after that, I guess he had a groin. I think. Wait, no, the next year after that was last year. He had 1,300 yards. You know what I mean? He missed 2 games with a groin, and then this year he was put on IR for 4 games because like they were really cautious with it. Like it seemed like there was reports like 2 weeks ago that he was basically good to go then. But it's a long season, man. Like we weren't. I mean, we weren't really. I mean, they were just cautious putting him on the IR. But I mean, it sounds like he ready to go right now. You know what I mean? And it's a long season, and like the thing is like he's more important. Like outside of like obviously the quarterback is the quarterback, but I say like he's probably like the most important player on the whole damn team offense, damn near to me. You know what I mean? Like he's been that good. He's been phenomenal. So is he injury prone? I would like to see how he finishes this year. I mean, it depends on what you say. Like if a guy missing a few games a year, means he's injury prone, then I guess you could say that. But like,
Okay.
he hasn't had a major injury. Like I can't compare him to Mike Williams yet. Not no offense
Right.
because he's on your team, but
No, no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no, no,
saying.
no, no. You
You
right.
know,
He is. No,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
is. He is. He's very injury
yeah,
prone.
yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about him, like particularly his time in, the Chargers. I couldn't think of another player really that. But you know what I'm saying? Well, like like he could easily be a player like Kenan Allen or some shit that had injuries early on, and you know what I'm saying? Like, then he had a few years where he didn't. So like to me, it's kind of like, he's still a young player, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I don't want to say a dude is injury prone after 3 years, and then like one of the years we was literally tanking. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
I don't know, but nah, like if you said that, like I can't hate you for saying this shit because he's been on the IR like 2 times, right? 2 times in 3 years. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There's not a whole lot of drop off with their backup receivers though, too. So be cautious. There's not a whole lot of drop off with their secondary receivers at Texas.
nah, bro. I
Offense.
mean, Nico
Offense.
Nico Collins is nah, bro. Like nah, don't say that, bro. Like Nico Collins is elite. Like Nico Collins is a top 5 receiver in the league, bro. It's a drop off. Like we got guys that Mike can go in and do some shit, but it's a drop. Like bro, I told everybody this offseason, it's a drop off from Stephon Diggs to Nico. So like it's a hell of a drop off from Stephon Diggs to John Mechie. From Nico to John Mechie, from Nico to Hutchinson. Now I mean now you might be
Well,
right.
maybe
Like
with snaps, maybe with the snaps. You know what I mean?
well,
Like the
bro,
snaps probably is huge difference.
Nico Collins literally was bro. Nico Collins missed 3 games now, and he's still top 10 in the NFL in yards, bro. Like, come on, bro.
I
Like
don't.
it's like
Yeah, I'm not trying to
like.
really argue with you per se, sir. I just was sharing that you guys got pretty good talent to back them up with. At
I
least
mean,
is all
we're
I
we're
kind of.
deep. Well, it's like this. Like, you could have depth, but if one of those guys is like a top 3 player at their position, then the depth is just different. Like, you could have guys that could go in and play, but like that guy is just different. You know what I mean? So it's like you
I
can't.
respect that.
To me, I thank you for complimenting our team. And I know like they are good, like Mechie and them guys. Like here's the thing. I mean, you're right. Like maybe they come in and they play well, but bro, I mean that dude was like he was doing some crazy shit before he got hurt, man. He was doing some really
Well, yeah,
insane
they're not going
shit.
to supersede demands. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
said, right?
yeah,
They're not going to supersede
Mhm.
what he's done on the football field,
Yeah.
but you're not going to be afraid to throw him the football either, right? Like, think about how many teams are like, yo, now who do we throw to? You know, like he's like,
True,
oh,
true.
fuck. But, just complimentary.
Nah, yeah, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? And like last year, I think
Oh,
last year it happened against the Jets too. I think Nico pulled his calf. He pulled his groin that
he
game.
did.
You know what I mean, or something. And then
Yep.
so Hutchinson and them, they gotta prove they can step up, bro. That's all I gotta say about that shit.
I hope we lose.
I mean, I hope we win. Shit. You know?
Yeah, I'm not changing my stance in this shit. I wanna bottom out and finally get a good quarterback with a good GM and a good head coach. Bottom out.
It will not happen, man.
June, I don't blame you.
It won't. Go
I don't
Jets.
blame you, brother. I would stand firm too if I were you. And I agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, I would certainly adjust the large majority of that football team.
Office you have to. Now look, at the same time, I remember I remember when that when that draft 22 class came in and the post game, in interviews they asked him like, how you feel about the Patriots? You haven't beat the Patriots in so many years. Their attitude was, well, we haven't been here. That doesn't apply to us. Like we don't know what they're talking about.
That's true.
And now it just seems like they just have accepted losing. Like they've been losing so long that they just learn how to accept it. Or the minute you in the game and one thing goes wrong, they just be like, oh, here we go again. And then they just, shit like that happens.
Well, yeah,
And
because
and, and I want it out. I want it out. Trade them.
Yeah, because how can you hold on like? And I'm not taking a shot at Petey at all. I really respect that man and love listening to him too. But he said it best, right? Because remember when he just said a little while ago. Remember he's like, "But what if it does turn around?" And no offense to y'all in the Jets, it hasn't, and it's probably not going to, right? Like
It
you
hasn't.
can't hold on to that. It might turn around mindset per se, like you're saying, like if y'all really want to move forward, relatively what we're discussing is probably your best option. 100%.
It is.
Yeah,
Office Petey is a sentimental guy, so those players gonna always have a place in his heart.
I know. I can tell.
Me, not so much. Me, I don't care. Like player. I've seen players come and go. I don't care about that shit. It's the logo for me, not the name on the back of the jersey.
That's right.
So if I can get rid of you and get some draft capital and stock my team with draft capital to make this rebuild faster, that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, and look, a lot of people are also right that might not jump on this particular side of the line with us, but like a lot of people have mentioned, balancing out where your big money is going to go, where your entry level money is going to go, and then patchworking the middle type of money players. That's going to be a whole new realm for the Jets, right? Like, because they've used a relatively they've been consistent with their system, and it just hadn't worked. Like it just it's not it's not gonna work that way no more. Like I'm trying to keep the cheapest running backs on the team, to be honest with you, for as
Right,
long as
right.
possible, right? Because I'm gonna want to put my money into some type of a left tackle or a right tackle and a quarterback, like, and even Garrett Wilson. Like I would keep him over Sauce every day of the week, to be honest with you. Defense is not where you're going to pay. You know what I mean? You're not going to pay the price there, but you can leverage winning the battle. Like that's a huge leverage tool. I mean, you guys were pretty good in defense, right? So you got a little bit of
Yeah,
leverage there. I don't think
yeah.
many people are going to want to entertain trades on the offensive side of the ball as much. You know what I mean? Like there's a few guys, but they're not really. No other teams are going to attack your offense. They're going to come after your defensive players.
Aaron, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's happening? June Petey, office always got great takes. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday so far.
Thank you, sir.
Now,
Good morning.
June, here's my question I got for you.
Yeah.
So let's say you talk about bringing up all the draft assets and all that jazz. Would you go for a quarterback this year or something else? Because me personally, I'd rather see if we'd wait one more year and pray maybe we can get Archie. And this year go after maybe like
Yeah,
another
I'm
defensive
back,
player
June.
or offensive.
Hey,
All
June.
right.
Yeah,
You know what I'd do, Aaron? I would I would go after the line, man, because you know what? You you cannot fairly assess a quarterback if he's running for his fucking life. So I would try to build that line first. I try to build around him first, and then you're right. The next year, then go after the quarterback.
No, yeah, dude.
Absolutely right.
I'm be honest with you, the guy I have my eyes on is Will Campbell from LSU. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big LSU fan, so I'm a little bit of a homer on that one. But this kid is an absolute stud. He was a starter as a freshman, and he's been there the whole way. Like this kid is fucking
I'm
solid.
gonna see. This is gonna be an unpopular opinion with Will Campbell. I think he's gonna get moved on and moved inside the guard in the NFL. I do. I think he's gonna moved inside the guard because he has one
Kind of like
problem.
kind of like what happened with Skoronsky.
Yep, his arms are too small. Um, it,
Mm.
that's the problem. That's
Look, that it, even that's cool. I would like. I'm I'm not opposed to give me everything. I'm going to build this on the proper way first.
That was a
Like
good
I
point,
said,
though.
the more draft capital that you have, the faster you can make this rebuild.
Well, and the Jets shouldn't want to wait any longer, right? I feel like you guys as a fan base have been waiting a long time. And
Man, you
I
don't
agree though on
understand,
the
Hoover.
quarterback. If look, if you can buy time and get exactly the guy you want, okay. But if I don't think that's possible, I'm going with the best guy available for the time being. Like
Yeah,
I'm
and
going with the best quarterback available.
office. Can you hear me? I was listening. I
Yes, sir,
just
son.
couldn't. None. You're good, bro. And listen, you don't even have to apologize, bro. I thought I had good manners sometimes, man. You're awesome. Shout out to you. Listen,
Thank you, brother.
I only have hope because I mean we're always down. There's what am I gonna do? I just can't when I'm beaten down. I'm sorry. You got to find a way to dig out. And as a person and as a fan, I just I have to have hope. What am I just? I'm not just gonna say the Jets, even though I know the Jets stink. At least I'll give it a couple of weeks. I just don't roll like that, bro. That's just not me. So
And I respect that about you,
yeah,
brother. And listen, we all
yeah,
should have hope, like hope is part of living.
yeah. So guys, in a few minutes, Brandon Pokras from Jets X Factor will join. I want to, I haven't had any guests on this week because it's been a miserable week, but I mean, we got to start, there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. So there's plenty of this. I don't agree with June about the, losing and all that, and that's fine. June can think how he wants with that, and I'm good with it. It's not a knock on June. It's just I don't do that. That's just me. There are other fans that want to tank. I don't want to tank. So
I say TNT, tank and tear it down.
yep. I mean, it's crazy. Like it's game day, and we're barely. I want to ask Brandon some stuff about the game and whatever, and we got to get back on. A win will make some people feel better. Some people are still going to be checked out the rest of the year, which is fine. I mean, it does feel good to win. Don't get me
But,
wrong.
but, but Pete, a win right now would give people misguided hope.
You're right. Unless the
Why do
Jets,
that?
June, and I'm not saying the Jets are going to do this, but unless the Jets create like a 3-4 game winning streak, uh, you know, I got to wait and see and just take it game by game. I don't know how they're favorite tonight against the Texans. I don't know how. There's no way
Yeah, that don't
there's
make no
no
sense to
way a
me.
2-6 team should be favored against a team that, technically the Jets had Super Bowl aspirations. I didn't think they would, make it this year. I didn't predict that, but come on.
Hey,
Like,
Petey, it's because they're not that bad. It's because the New York Jets are not that
here we
bad, and
go.
the freaking Texans are just not that good. And it will be proven tonight. And when we go on that damn win streak, June, you need to wear a Buffalo Bills jersey for the rest of the year. I don't want to see you talking about, oh, let's go, Shush. Oh, this and that. How dare I say I want to trade them and build it down? I was watching the 2002 New York Jets with Herm Edwards in them. Remember that? Remember that?
Yes.
Remember that season?
Yes,
They
of course.
started
I
off
love
two
it.
and
I
Yes.
love
five.
it.
2 and 5. Hey, were you talking about tearing it down then, June? Were you talking about trading away
You
your
know why?
assets and your best players and getting
Wait,
rid of
hold on.
everybody
Hold
then?
on.
Because they made the
Hexagon and
playoffs
June.
then, and we could
One
still make the
second.
playoffs now.
Hexagon,
We
one
had a
sec.
better coach.
I got the guest in Brandon Pokras from Jets X Factor. How are you? Good morning, Brandon. Thanks for joining.
Morning.
How you
How you
doing,
guys
Brandon?
doing?
Brandon, we we've been talking about next year for most of the morning and the last week. So, is there any perspective that you could bring to where this can? Do you? First of all, Brandon, let me ask you. I hope all's well, man, and thanks for joining. Do you think the Jets will win tonight? I need to ask that question.
So I did not predict them to win. I think it's going to be either a close loss or they're gonna get run off the field. And it's one of those things for me where I'm like, I need to see the proof of concept before I predict them to win another game because right now they're a team that just doesn't know how to win. And that's not saying that they don't have the talent. That's not saying that, oh, they can't do X, Y, and Z. It's they struggle to play complementary football and they haven't figured out how to close. Because in one game, if the defense is doing great, look at Minnesota, for example. The offense can't do enough. Look at Buffalo, right? You know, if the offense is doing things, it's special teams or the defense. There's just, it's like, I heard the comparison somewhere and I agree with this. It's like a boat that has a hole pop up. You try to plug it, so another hole pops up. You try to plug it, just back and forth. And I think this Texans team is uniquely designed to attack some of the Jets' weaknesses. I mean, this is a team that has struggled so bad against the run. Joe Mixon is the perfect running back to exploit that weakness. CJ Stroud's the perfect quarterback to exploit the, I think I would call it over aggressiveness at times of the Jets offense or Jets defense, the over aggressiveness and pursuit angles. If Russell Wilson was able to expose that, CJ Stroud will be able to expose that. And then when it comes to the Jets offense versus the Texans defense, this is a team where I think that I basically think that it's very similar to the Vikings. I think it's very similar to the fact that this is a blitz heavy Texans defense. And if Rodgers wants the static offense that we've seen the team shift back to, you're in trouble because they're going to see exactly what the Jets are trying to do and they're going to attack it. So I'm not feeling too confident about this one, but this also NFL and weird things happen on Thursday night games, so who knows? And then when it comes to the future too, it all depends on results, right? Because I think you have one outcome if they win like 2 or 3 games. I think you have a different outcome if they win 5 or 6, maybe even a different one if they win 7. So I think it all depends on what happens for the rest of the season.
So Brandon, so where do I begin? All right, so Brandon, let's just get into this whole, you know, debate of trading off. I'm not. I think the Jets are going to run it back next year. I do. Now, obviously, if Rodgers says he's not coming back, then I would just play Travis. What's it? Travis? Why am I missing his name here? The
Jordan
quarterback.
Travis.
Yeah, Jordan. Sorry, Jordan Travis. You got Tyrod here. I mean, if that's the case and you're going to start all over, just do it that way and then, build from the ground up. Now, we don't know if Travis, is the answer, Jordan Travis, but do you think they're going to run this back? Because I actually think they are.
Like I said, I think it depends, right? I think if this team goes completely like bottoms up, like we're talking like anywhere from like 2 to 3 and maybe even 4 wins, I think Rodgers might call it a day. I think there is that possibility. I still think there's that possibility regardless if his body is just beat up to the point where he doesn't want to do this for another season. I also think the possibility exists that Rodgers, being the at times stubborn player that he is, decides, I want to run this back. And my biggest concern with that isn't the fact that Rodgers is on the field. Because if we're going to be completely honest, I don't know how many better options there are when it comes to your 2025 Jets quarterback options. Because, if you don't have Rodgers, you're going to be you're probably drafting someone, right? You want to go that route. Maybe you're starting Jordan Travis. Maybe you're signing a Jameis Winston or Gardner Minshew to compete with a Tyrod Taylor and see, okay, who's our bridge guy? Like there aren't too many great options because you made things happen with Rodgers. You put all your eggs in that basket and you're going from there. I just worry about the head coach and GM search if Rodgers comes back. That's really the main crux of it for me. Where I fall and what I would do right now, the way things are heading, I try to tear it down as much as possible. Tear it down to the studs, try to really establish a foundation because the NFL rebuilds do not take long in the modern age. Look at the opponent you're facing tonight. All you got to find is the right head coach. All you got to find is the right quarterback, the right personnel groupings, and you can turn around pretty fast. But if you are stuck in mediocrity for years and years and years, you're just not going to go anywhere significant. And that's the way I'm leaning. But I think
Hmm.
I th- and I feel like that's the way you get the best candidates. I think if you try to stick with Rodgers, there is a reason you would do that. It's we're going to give
Yeah.
this one last ride. We traded everything for Rodgers. We think we have the core. I think that could be up for discussion at this point. But you give it one last ride. You hire, a bridge head coach, a bridge offensive coordinator, maybe even a bridge GM or something. That's a discussion for a different day.
Right.
But that's
But Brandon, can I just jump in real quick to that
mhm.
point though that you made about ripping it down to the studs or all that? But didn't they kind of accelerate that because of what Sauce and Jermaine and Garrett and Brees brought? This thing got. I mean, they went to 7 wins and there was so much hope. You know what I'm saying? And then we all thought, a lot of us thought Zach Wilson was going to just play competent, and that didn't work. But you know what I'm saying here?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't think you need to trade all these. I'm not saying don't trade one of them, but I don't know. I think you can win with these guys if they have the right coach.
I'm with Brandon 100%. Tear it down to the studs.
He's
That's how
with
you
June
got to
and
do it.
Dapper, baby. The June Dapper and Brandon team right now, baby.
But
We need more
yeah,
Yes,
followers.
indeed. Yes,
Well,
indeed.
Brett, go ahead,
well,
Brandon.
this is where the problem lies, right? It's okay. You do have that core, but remember, these guys are up for extensions soon. It's not like you're going to have this cheap core for much longer. I think you do have the argument of, hey, I'll put it like this. I think your two arguments are you run it back or you tear it down. I really don't think there's much of a middle ground because of where the majority of your core is. You are going to have to extend, resign, or trade Brees, Garrett, Sauce, Jermaine, and a lot of other key contributors in the next few years. So whether you stick with Rodgers or you tear it down, you're going to have to make that decision in the next 2 years anyway. I would just lean towards doing it the year early rather than a year late. Because if you do it a year late, you might have to trade almost everyone. Whereas if you do it the year early, you can pick the guys that you want to be your foundational pieces and not be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because let's say hypothetically, we have Aaron Rodgers never on return in 2025, and the season doesn't go great again. Well, now in 2026, you might be without any of those core guys because now you're just floating you're floating in the darkness to, you know, bring it back to that point that this team evidently loves to link to themselves, but you're floating in the darkness because you have no path. You now have even less of a window with this core, and it's going to be even harder to find the right candidate for head coach, the right candidate for general manager, because now you have even less to work with in terms of the core, and now all that dead cat pops up. It's a really fascinating situation, and it really illustrates the point that it is so bad that this team started the way it started. It is so bad that things have turned out the way they are because these are not the types of discussions you want to be having on Halloween. Like, we are not even in November yet.
Well, it's something. Petey, can I
Yeah.
jump in, Petey?
Yes, sure.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing, Brandon? Appreciate you coming in. Basically, this team right now, nothing is working. So I'm sick of hearing that if we had a different coach, it'd be better. I just think the talent is overrated on the roster. The last two drafts, not one player from the last two drafts has impacted this team. And I know Braylon Allen, he's had his flashes, but no one has impacted this team at all. You can't go 2 years in a row with a draft where not one player has given you anything. They've gotten nothing out of the last two drafts.
But Kenny, what about McDonald though? He's got 8 sacks.
Yeah, okay, but I'll give you that. But he started out of the gate like a bat out of hell, and he's disappeared for 3 weeks. So consistency, and going back to the 22 draft, It looks a little overrated now. Besides Garrett Wilson, Brees has taken a step back. Gardner is just clueless out there. So, well, I agree with you in June. You got to start ripping this down. And what they should have done this week is Zerline should have been cut. Don't put him on IR. Don't make him, make him feel like he's still part of the team. Get rid of him. Uh, Now Devontae Adams reworks his contract, which proves that they're going to run it back with this garbage next year with Rodgers a year older. If I'm the Jets, I'm looking to move Devontae Adams. I'm looking to move these guys out of here. Even if kick the tires, get Rodgers out of here. Start the rebuild now. They should have had a GM and a coach in place this week. I know it's not easy, but they just let Douglas go. Get him out of here. His contract ends at the end of the year. You can't have this guy making trades and he's not going to be here next year. You can't do it. You got to clean house now. You got to just put somebody in charge in the front office, whatever, to start making the trades until they find a GM. Because right now, the reason why they're going to sell us this fool's gold again, and it goes back to Woody wanting the season ticket holders trying to fool us again. Hey, don't worry, we're going to do it again next year. Nah. That ain't going to work for the smart fans. It's not going to work. Get this stink out of here now. Like Bill Parcells says, you are what your record is. How they won 7 games last year uh, basically is a fluke right now, but you got to rip this apart now. Stop the bullshit because every 5-year plan turns into 10 to 15 years now with the Jets. Start dumping the garbage now. Stop overrating your players. Get rid of them now before their stock drops even more. You have to do a total rebuild. And that's my take.
Brandon, you
I
want to
love that
comment on
fucking
that?
guy.
Yeah,
Brandon, you here?
yeah, no, I'm
You
here.
want to
Yeah,
comment?
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think it's very interesting because so much of this Jet situation is just unique. Because I would love for the Jets to be proactive, and I would love for them to, get someone in here, or you know, since you're assuming Douglas isn't here, get someone in here that is going to make those moves. It's just not going to happen. This is not a organization that has been proactive in the past. I don't expect that to change now. It's just it's a very interesting spot, and you know, there's a lot of reasons why the Jets are struggling this year, and I do think the drafting, especially in the mid to late rounds, is a big reason why. The best teams in football hit on those picks. Not 100% success rate, right? But they hit on some of these picks. So you do got have Will McDonald, who I personally think has still been producing very, very well as a pass rusher, considering what he has had opposite of him. He's been doing probably the best out of any pass rusher the Jets have had this year. You have, I think, Garrett Wilson still playing at a very high level. Sauce has been fine, but fine is a lot different than, the elite play we expect from a 2-time All-Pro. I personally think Brees Hall has been really good as of late, but didn't have the best start to a season. And the kicker with that is, yeah, you have your upper tier picks. You have to hit on your first round picks or you're going to get fired. It's okay. You spend the third round pick on Malachi Corley. That's supposed to be a pick that contributes this year. That was the whole idea of the pick. Hasn't done much of anything, right? You look at your Max Mitchells of the world, your Carter Warrens of the world, the guys that are supposed to be those developmental guys, not really seeing much of them. I mean, they're inactive most weeks, right? It seems like most of your production in the back half of the draft is like your UDFAs, your Xavier Gibsons, who has been inconsistent, but had his best week of the season last week. Leonard Taylor. It's very hard to be successful as a team when you whiff on a handful of picks and then you also, struggle to hit on free agents, Tyron Smith, Mike Williams, etc. it's such a unique situation that the Jets have put themselves into because the roster that was supposed to be win now and compete has a lot more holes than I think people expected. You have a GM that's a lame duck GM. He does not have a contract. So, what's going to be the incentive for him to try to make moves and try to, set the Jets up for a better future, trade off these veterans? I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. You don't have really a head coach at the moment because I don't think anyone expects Ulbrich to be back with the way the season is going, barring some miraculous turnaround that starts tonight. You have a older roster, older quarterback that you don't know the status of. Devontae Adams is a big piece. What's his future? So many different questions that until you know what the full scope of the Jets season looks like, I don't even think you can peg down what direction this team's going to go in. And even if you have an idea of where this season is going, let's say in week 13, 14, I still think there's a curveball in store or two for this organization. So it's just I'll keep repeating it. It's a very weird time for the Jets because the logical and that's the key word here. The logical path is that okay, the Rodgers thing didn't work. This is a team where we need to build a solid foundation for the future. We need to get guys in here that want to be here and build this thing from the ground up the right way. That can't happen if you're in between two paths. And I just have the nagging feeling that the Jets aren't going to go with the full teardown. They should.
Neither do I.
They should.
Neither do
They
I.
need to commit to a path. But the Jetsy thing to do, the thing that this organization has done year after year after year after year, to put in perspective, I started watching this team when I was 10 years old, or really 9 years old, back in 2010. It is now 2024. It's been the same team for basically my entire life. They do half measures. They do
Oh,
things that
Brandon, get used to it. I've been doing this for 50 something years.
but yeah, it's they've been doing half measures. They've been doing things that don't commit one way or the other for the majority of that time span, the majority of this
Yep.
longest playoff drought in North American sports. The pat
Brandon, real quick. Sorry. Don't you think though that they tried it with the whole Wilson thing? Like they tore everything down to 20 something hundred snaps of the rookies that broke an NFL record. Brandon, I'm sorry. I just don't want to go through that again. I know you're young like Kenny. I'm just old, man.
Wait,
I
Man,
It's just
Pete,
good.
can I? Yeah, I just want to ask something. Didn't you see the thing with Zach Wilson is did you properly build around him? Did you give him the offensive line? Did you give him the offensive coach that can work with him and develop him?
no,
Like
no,
again,
no, no, and no.
we have a problem with you doing it, but the problem is you didn't give Zach Wilson an opportunity. You didn't really give him that much of a chance. And
Jared, come on. Zach Wilson, he could play behind the Chiefs line right now, and he sucks. Let's be realistic here.
that's what a lot of
Let's
people
be
said about Sam
realistic.
Darnold. People said
It,
that
it,
about
well,
now,
people said that about
Believe
Sam
me,
Darnold, and look
Donald,
how he's
the
playing.
bloom's going to come off that rose too with Donald. So that
Yeah, but
let's not get carried away
Yeah, but if
with
you,
Donald.
it's been proven time and time again that if you can build around the right pieces, give somebody. I mean, again, I don't think Sam Darnold's a high ceiling player. The same with Baker Mayfield. But you can be successful in this league if you have if you build around quarterback and if you build it and if you do it correctly.
Yeah, I agree with that, but Jarek, I want to get back to that. Brandon, so that's my take on it of, the whole rebuild. I don't want to do that. Now, guys, I'm up against the hour here. I want to get out of here a little by 10, a little after 10. So, Brandon, to answer that question, June, I want you to hop in and then office. So I don't want to go through it, Brandon, again. And that me being selfish as a fan or just because I can't root for losing, Brandon, as bad as they've been. And you're right, it's always mediocrity. It's never they do it the right thing because it's the Jets.
well,
Now, Brandon, look above. Trey Wingo, who's been trashing the Jets, says the Jets season has been a nightmare. It's fitting they play on Halloween. But if they can find a way to win tonight, they actually have a chance to save their season.
Well, this is the heart of the problem, right? Where what I was going to finish with is this is a team that will say, "Oh, we were right there. We're just not going to full tear down." You go into another Rodgers season with him being 41 at the start of the year. It doesn't work, and now you're in an even worse spot where now the full tear down means, "Oh, we might not have any of these core pieces that we drafted." That's the problem. I think with the NFL, I, from a fan perspective, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to go through a rebuild because why should you have the confidence in the Jets to do the right thing right now? Why should you have the confidence in the Jets to build that way? They haven't done it for almost a decade and a half. Why would you expect it now? So I do understand that. But the way you win in the NFL is you have to keep trying things until they work. You have to keep going through these things until they work. And I think the biggest problem with the Zach Wilson era is that they missed. They had the right, you have the right process, but you missed. You missed on Makai Becton when you should have picked Tristan Wirfs. You missed on the quarterback. You missed on some of the surrounding pieces. If you get the right people in there and they hit on those picks, that process can still work. So that's why I still lean towards it because I think it's the right process to build a team. And when it comes to this season, yeah, technically the Jets could still win tonight and turn around their season, but that gets to the heart of the problem. What happens if they do that? Oh, we won 6 games, but we played like this down the stretch. Give us one more shot. This is how you get into the same this is how you get into the same cycle that you've been stuck in for
Yeah,
year after
it's
year
rinse,
after year.
rinse and repeat, like a washing machine. Rinse and repeat. That's
Exactly.
all it is.
And you need I just think that look, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you have to commit to a path. You have to commit one way or the other. And I think the worst thing for the Jets to happen the rest of this season would be them to be mediocre or mediocre. I think you want to either have them storm back and look like the team that they were supposed to be, or you want them to bottom out because it makes that decision much easier. If they storm back, makes it much easier to stick with Aaron Rodgers next season, makes it much easier for them to build around that for one more year. If they bottom out, makes it much easier to go a different route. You do not want the middle ground. I think that's like my closing quote unquote thing for today. The middle ground, it would be an abject disaster for this team this season because you don't know if the Rodgers thing works or it doesn't work. You don't know if you want to trade guys or not trade guys. And it makes this situation impossible for someone to come in because at either extreme, you're going to find someone, in my opinion. You're going to find candidates that want to come in and take that path. If you're in the middle ground, a middle ground Jet season combined with the toxicity of this organization would you'd get some of the worst candidates out there in my opinion. So that's where I really fall with it in totality.
That's fair. June, you, jump in, June, and
Hey,
then
hey,
go ahead.
hey, let me tell you, everything Brandon just, oh my God. I love you, bro. Thank you. Thank you for appearing today because I've been getting laughed at, thumbs down, everything. You just said everything that I said. I appreciate that, Brandon.
Thank you.
You too, kid.
Yeah, I've been going at it with June, Brandon, a little bit because, I'm not in favor of he wants to trade Garrett, and I'm putting June on the spot. I don't. I think you could build around a Garrett Wilson, in my opinion. But I don't want to get you involved in me and his take argument. But I just think you have to keep some of these guys to build upon, Brandon. You do. You can't
Hey,
just
hey, hey, hey,
go ahead.
hey, Brandon, you need to make this opening as appealing as possible. Like you said, with all the negative and narratives, why not entice a GM and a coach with draft capital?
I think you can do that by keeping Garrett. I think Garrett is the one guy I would personally keep because I think if you have a situation where, especially like let's say we're going the path, or the Jets are going the path of drafting a quarterback, you want a wide receiver one here. I think Garrett is the guy that for the next age of the Jets, he can be that leader, the guy that is the quote unquote captain of the offense that can really lead things and be that foundational piece for them going forward. I think the other guys are tough, right? Because, I think you still could get something for Brees Hall. Running back contracts are always interesting, and how quickly they fall off varies for every guy. I still love Brees as a player, but the shelf life isn't always there, right? Sauce Gardner, that's the most interesting one. I think that's the guy you could get the capital for, because I don't think that you know are put it like this: Are the Jets going to pay top dollar for a cornerback if they're in a rebuild? I'm not so sure. I think in that case you I think in that case you value the wide receiver more than you value the cornerback, because the wide receiver is going to be more of a game-changing type player on a down-the-down, game-to-game basis. Jermaine's going to be interesting because how does he look after the Achilles injury? And then you go down the roster from there. I think Garrett Wilson, in my eyes, if you're going full rebuild, he's the priority guy on offense that you keep. He's the guy that you build. You basically build the entire ship out of Garrett. Like from the way you want to run the ball, the way you want to throw the ball, the way you want to build this team, Garrett becomes that foundational piece. So I think even if you head into that rebuild the way I personally would want to, I think you try to keep Garrett, but that's not even including if he wants to even be here. So that's another factor that you can get into at the end of this season, depending on how this season goes. Because there's also the reality that he asked out of New York, and none of this conversation even matters.
Now, Brandon, let me ask you this question, Brandon. Do you see Gary as an elite wide receiver or a good wide receiver?
I think he's right now on the borderline of it. I think he has a lot of elite moments, but he's not fully quote unquote like a top 5, top 10 receiver just yet. I think Devontae being in his ear and giving him that mentality is going to push him over the edge to being elite.
Great
Okay.
take.
I don't. I
Hey,
don't. I don't see him
Brandon,
being elite, Petey.
Brandon, Brandon, just so you know that that might be the short of the day on Jets Commute YouTube. Just so you know, the borderline. It's a very good take. I agree with that. I think he's more like top 15, Brandon. But top 15, you could build around that, Brandon. You
It,
can.
exactly, and I think he's knocking on the door of it. I think he's right there. I think every week this season you've seen him getting better and better and better, and I just think, look, no matter what you think about how the season's going, I think Garrett having someone like Devontae to learn from is
Yep.
just as important as any development, because if he's going to be the guy you build around, Devontae basically taking him under his wing is going to be essential for him as a player on and off the field.
But Brandon,
Yep.
to that point, and Pete, I know you're up against
Y-
10 o'clock,
It's all right.
but you talk about elite and Devontae Adams being in his ear. Who was in Jamar Chase's ear? Who was in Justin Jefferson's ear? Nobody. Those are elite. So I think that's overblown with somebody in your ear.
I,
You know?
every guy's different though, right? Every guy, the development isn't a linear path. I think that's the most important thing I've learned when it comes to like looking at football, other sports as well. Development isn't a linear path. Some guys, it clicks right away. Every single aspect of being a player and how you carry yourself on and off the field, it clicks right away. Some guys, it takes a little bit more time. I think a perfect example of that is look at a guy like Nico Collins. Nico Collins, nobody thought he would be an elite wideout for the Texans, but it took him a little bit of time. He got used to the NFL, and now when he's been on the field for the Texans, he's been one of the best wide receivers in football. I'd say he's in that top 10 group. So I think with Garrett, you always saw those flashes. You always saw the upper echelon elite type of player he could be, but it wasn't always consistent. I
Yeah, but
think by
you never see him take the top off of defense. He never runs by anybody to get open. You know, at this point right now, Robbie Anderson put better numbers, I think, with the deep
No,
ball.
well, Kenny, Brandon. I was gonna bring this stat up. I always check Jets history. Garrett Wilson needs 460 yards to become 13th all time in Jets wide receiving yards.
Well,
13th, Brandon.
Pete, that
It's
just
just
goes to show you how
right.
bad the receivers that we've had, besides Altoon, Corbett, and Wesley Walker and Don Maynard. That's it. There's nobody else.
Well, right, but that we don't have stability, and that's the thing, Brandon. Like I think what Kenny's saying, Robbie Anderson ran through over the top. I don't care about that. Garrett gets open, Kenny, and I think you could build around him. That's
Garrett
my
No, I
Garrett
want
Wilson
good.
Wilson
doesn't.
here. The guy I don't want here is Gardner. That's the guy you trade for. Because right now, Brandon, don't you think the most he's worth right now, Gardner, is a second round pick? No one's offering a one for him.
No,
You could get it first,
I
no.
don't
my
You
You
think
could
can get it
so.
opinion.
first.
you can get a
You can get it
first
Well,
plus
first.
you
for
know what? If
Sauce.
you can get it first, do it. Because his stock is declining. You got to sell high, buy low.
When it comes to Sauce, cornerback play fluctuates. There would definitely be teams that would pay up for Sauce. Like that's not a question in my eyes. It's just a matter of him being here. Completely different story because you don't know where the team's going to be. I think when it comes to Garrett Wilson, though, back to that, he's not the type of player that you need to send on consistent deep routes and all these things. Also, I think a big part of that is the play calling. I think a big part of that is the fact that I don't exactly trust the how do I put it? The current offensive staff of the New York Jets to get the most out of their offensive players. So I don't think you can necessarily blame, Garrett Wilson isn't taking the top off the defense. Well, how much of that is Todd Downing? How much of that is Aaron Rodgers? How much of that is just the offensive methodology of what they're doing so far? I really think Garrett has continued to improve week after week after week, and he's going to be that type of centerpiece you want to build your offense around.
And Brandon, I got one more thing. And since they look like they're going to run it back with Rodgers and Devontae, obviously I think that Mike McCarthy's getting fired. Would you bring Mike McCarthy in here to run his team, to coach his team next year?
I think my thing with that is everyone under the assumption that this is a 1 year thing, that this kind of like it's truly your last dance type Jets, right? If you're under the assumption of that, I would consider it. I wouldn't be a fan of it because I think I mentioned it. My biggest fear is Aaron Rodgers dictating the GM and the head coach for the next few years to come, where the Jets hire McCarthy and Rodgers leaves, and now you're saddled with Mike McCarthy, and now you're having to deal with the ramifications of that, right? I think it's very fascinating, and I feel like a better candidate for that, if you're going that route, I would personally enjoy Pete Carroll a bit more, someone more in that vein
Wow.
where it's you're not exactly getting a guy that thinks he's going to be here for the long haul, where if I'm going with Rodgers one more year, I'm trying to find the guy that can thread the needle between, okay, yeah, I can work with Aaron Rodgers, but I also know how to set a foundation, a winning foundation for a team. So I think there's a way to thread the needle. I think someone in the Pete Carroll mold works. I personally wouldn't like McCarthy as much in that role.
Brandon, what do you think of Pete Carroll? And then Office and Mike, just be quick. And Brandon, thanks, man. I want to have you on again soon because this got a little, I knew it. We didn't really talk about the game a lot, which is crazy. But what do you think of Pete Carroll would cost? Over $10 million a year easily, right?
I
Wouldn't you
I,
think?
quite frankly, I think the Jets are in a position where whoever they get, they're going to have to pay up if they want.
Correct.
If they want someone that's actually going to change the culture of the New York Jets and actually get the team on the winning path, whether it comes to the front office or the head coach, they're going to have to pay up.
And Brandon, with that being said, do you see Woody Payne?
Um, Probably not. If I'm being honest, I
Exactly.
I don't see that happening. But look, he's paid up for players before. He's gone all in before, as we've seen this season. Maybe not in the way that is the best methodology, but I think there could be a point where the desperation reaches a point where he realizes he has to pay up for those types of top tier candidates. But I don't think it happens this offseason.
Office, go ahead. And Mike.
Morning, Brandon. Thank you for your time and expertise, sir.
Morning.
I
How you
just
doing?
want doing well, sir. It's a beautiful day out here. Thursday night football's upon us. It's Halloween. It's going pretty well, you know. I'm a Ravens guy from down here in Baltimore, but these are my friends, and I love listening to these guys, and I love that they let me share with them. So, again, thank you for your time and expertise. But two quick things. You're the fourth member to Kenny June and Office movement of moving this team forward differently than they're used to. So, welcome, sir. But only question I really have is what would be your wish list coaching wise if you were in charge, you had the keys to the car? What guy would you, because it sounds like it is going to be a bridge gap though, right? But what would be your guy like if you really just had it all and could do it? Thank you.
No, I think that's a great question. I think that, picture perfect fairy tale world, you want a guy like a Ben Johnson, right? But I think a better candidate for the Jets specifically would be a guy like Todd Monken. Now, would Monken ever come here? That's a different question. But I think Monken's a guy that has run a bunch of different offenses, had success basically everywhere he goes, and would be able to, I think, thread that needle where, hey, if he's working with a rookie guy, he can make that work. If he's working with Rodgers and then moves on to a different guy after that, I think he could work with that. I think Monken is really that type of head coach that the Jets need. And, I think it's going to be really fascinating when it comes to him, what the other head coach candidates are and what the other teams that need head coaches are.
All right, Mike, you're up.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, guys. Still in absolute shock from last night, but regardless, get to watch the Texans lose today. Texans beat the Jets today. Not so much a question, just being like, just want to say the Jets are not winning tonight, and if when they lose, so 24 hours from the moment they lose, Joe Douglas or whoever's going to call the shot, they need to be on the phones and selling every bit of piece they have on that team, and just start it. Just start the rebuild. Just do it. And everybody outside of, probably for me at this point, everyone outside of Olu Fashanu, Braylon Allen, and Jordan Travis can and should be considered to be sold. Just Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, um, Sauce Gardner, as we're all
But
seeing, as we're
but
literally
Mike, you
all.
can't do that during the season, though, man. It's not baseball
Why not? But why can't he?
No, 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 no. Hold
because
on,
you
hold on.
because you're not gonna just hurry up. I'm not being
Yeah, yeah,
mean.
yeah.
I'm up
But
against this. Go ahead.
yeah, because well, here's the thing, and we saw it. We're seeing it now, right? All these players. I don't know what happened. I don't know what dime was flipped, but they are not performing well at all this season. None of them. And you need to sell high when they still have some value, right? Garrett has had a shaky season. Sauce is not looking like that all pro guy. He was exposed on Sunday versus the Pats. These guys are not looking great anymore. So still, while they have their name intact, you sell them. You sell them for what you can absolutely get for them. And I don't think these players, to be perfectly, now that we're seeing it in live action. I don't think these guys are actually worth considering for the long haul, like long-term Jets players. And so you need to sell. So whenever they lose tonight, at whatever time that may be, you get on the phone. You get on the phone. I don't care who it is. You call. You give them. I don't care. Give them the Chiefs, Steelers. Who cares? You sell high. You sell these guys high. So that's all I wanted to say. Brandon, thank you. I mean, you know what? I don't. After
Wait,
last
wait,
night,
wait, Mike. Before you go, Mike. I mean, since you already know the Jets are gonna lose, what's the lotto tickets for tonight? I need some bread.
I got you. Lotto tickets
Play. Put.
are.
Wait. Play.
Exactly.
Play. Play. Why don't we do this? Play 10:31. That's the date. Why don't you do Halloween? Brandon, give me your
Mike,
final thoughts on that of what Mike just said, and then we'll close up.
love it, Mike.
And Brandon, thanks again, man, for all your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me on. I think the it's not like I agree with you, Petey. It's not possible to trade all those guys midseason. There's too many cap ramifications when it comes to trading that many guys midseason. That's more of an off-season type thing. If you're going quote unquote tear down, you trade the guys that are going to be upcoming free agents, right? You trade the guys on the 1 year deal so you can see what you have in some of your depth options, and you go from there because there's also locker room dynamics. There's other stuff that goes into it where you can't just trade an entire roster because after a certain point you're going to run out of bodies, and you're just and if the it's just not possible, right? Like I obviously in an ideal world in a season like this, you get as many assets as possible, you tear it down to the studs, and you tank. But these guys are they care about their craft, they want to win. They're not just going to rip it down to the studs and in the middle of the season. In the off season, completely different story. But right now, they're gonna they're gonna still try to win. They're gonna still try to compete. They're gonna still try to make the playoffs. And it would I just don't see it happening.
Respectfully, I don't
Mike,
see
let
how
him
you can
finish.
say that they
Well,
want to win.
Mike, they do want, and let me just, and for Brandon, Mike's not,
From what
he's
I
just
saw
jumping
for the
in.
last 2 weeks
But Mike,
against the
he's right
Steelers
about that.
and the
Mike, they do.
Pats,
Mike, you don't think they want to win? They weren't trying in that game. Come on,
I
Mike. But
think they
that's
folded
the
their
point,
cards the
though. Do
last
you
two
want
weeks.
practice squad? I don't want practice squad players playing, man, during the year. I don't. Brandon, I appreciate you coming on, man. But most of us just jump in on the Twitter space, but we all respect you and have a great day, man. Will you be at the game tonight?
Yeah, I will be there.
Okay. Try to enjoy it,
All
man.
right, have a great day,
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks, Brent.
thanks a
You
lot,
too.
Brandon. Appreciate
Peace.
you.
Thank you,
All
Brandon.
right, guys, continue this for a couple of minutes. And Mike, I do not
Yeah,
agree with. I agree that we should trade off. Thanks, Brandon. Make sure you guys follow him. I agree we should trade off some guys, but you can't do a fire sale during the year, man. No way.
listen,
Fellas,
listen to
aside from above just happened.
today's show. On today's show, the MVP was Brandon, Kenny, Mike, Office. Tear this shit down, man.
Yeah, you're not going to believe this. I'm in Ellicott City, Maryland, and I'm in the Home Depot, and a man's standing here with a Jet sweatshirt on. You want me to talk to him real quick and see
Yo,
if we can get his
shout
pick?
out to him. Put him on.
All right, hold on 1 second. All right, give me a second. Hold on a minute.
All right.
Give me like 30 seconds, Speedy. I got to go back to him and watch this. Hold on.
It might,
Let me go to
it might
work
be
and see
Joe
what he
Douglas
says.
trying to get his job back.
But
Good
realistically, I
morning, sir. How
understand
are
what
you?
Brandon said.
Good. So
I
I'm on
Mike,
a jet commute
Mike,
with my
let me hear
friends,
this.
and they wanted to hear your prediction for the night. Oh God, you don't want
Hey,
to hear my
hey,
prediction.
man, how you doing? It's Pete here. What's up?
Oh man,
What's your
Pete,
name?
it's Petey. Yup, this is the
Petey, this is Mark.
Mark. How are you, man? Are we gonna win tonight? What's up?
It's not looking good, but I'm always gonna root for my team. So I'm gonna say, yeah, we're gonna win tonight. And it's
All right. And who do
Halloween.
you got on? What jersey? What jersey you got
Oh,
on?
I'm just wearing a hoodie. I'm not even have a jersey on. I'm just wearing a hoodie.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I got a little light sleeve hoodie on myself. It's 73 degrees up here in New
Nice,
Jersey, man.
nice.
But Mark, keep the faith,
I,
bro.
I
It's
needed
hard,
to
but
hear that. I needed to hear that. Thank you.
all right. And Mark, who do you expect the big game from the Jets tonight? Real
Honestly, I
quick.
think Brees is gonna have a breakout game tonight.
Awesome, Mark. Mark, are you on
No, I'm
X?
not actually. I'm not on social media.
Uh, all right. That's probably a good thing. God
Bless you
bless you,
too,
brother.
man. Let's go Jets.
Bet.
thanks, man.
Mike, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
joined their
Thanks,
space
office.
like in the morning because there's really not like rape.
Mike, go ahead. That was pretty cool,
So
office.
yeah. I mean, obviously, it for me was I exaggerating a little bit? Yeah. Can it be done? No, it can't be done to sell all these players. But as Brandon said, the 1 year guys, DJ Reed, he's gone. Fucking, like as when they lose tonight, you got to get on the phone. You just got to get on the phone.
I hear you. June, I'm going to close up. As always, thank you. Buckeye, who's not in here, thank you. speakers, listeners, shout out to you guys. Happy Halloween. And let's get that dub. Have a great day, guys.
No, tear it down.
Ugh, bye, June.